And we're up.
Hey, what's up, guys? My name's Tyler. This is Rendered Reality.
And my name's Sean.
Today, we're going to hit a bunch of the big things that happened this week in VR. Obviously, the big stuff, F8, the Valve Index. We've got a gameplay premiere that nobody's seen yet. We've got a music video inside of that. Let's see, what else? We want to talk about the sword controllers. At least I want to. Yeah, and I guess what's going on in the VR world.
Yeah. So this is a huge week for VR. I mean, this was probably one of the biggest weeks we've had with anticipation and people excited about stuff, looking up VR. I mean, I'm sure the terms of virtual reality have been searched a lot this past week compared to previous weeks. So.
Oh yeah, everything. I mean, everyone's looking up stuff now with the Index and Stealing the Thunder and all of it.
And
oh yeah,
sword controllers. So I mean, hopefully we're on the edge of some mainstream exposure for VR. Like, hopefully it is really starting to catch on. It seems like, I mean, even if you look at the pre-order stuff, how quick pre-orders went for everything. I was shocked. I did not see that coming, honestly.
Yeah, I agree. Actually, I missed out on the initial pre-order. I didn't have time. I was up on a lift at work, working in a shop.
For which one?
What's that?
For which one? Which pre-order?
For the Index. Okay. I missed the initial Index. I did end up getting it, but still, I don't think I got on first shipment. I'm not sure about that yet. So.
I did hit the first shipment. I got in there, and everybody was having issues. So when I got in there, it wanted me to put in my billing address. So I put all my billing address in, and it wouldn't go to the next page. Like, it just would not move. So I kept refreshing it. I kept doing it. I'm like, oh my goodness, why is this not working? So finally, it went through, and everything went through. I got the confirmation email, and that was the full bundle. I did get the full bundle because I didn't have the lighthouses already. Right now we're running CV1, so.
Yeah, I didn't get the full myself, but I'm not too worried about that. I got the knuckles and the headset and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's crazy, though, because for me, going into F8, I planned on buying both headsets. I planned on getting the Rift S and the Quest. And
that was both of our plans.
Yeah, and with Index, that got kicked. I mean...
In a sense, yeah. I mean, it was... Yeah. Our whole plan was to buy them Tuesday. Tuesday was the first day of F8. Like, that was our whole plan, was go out and buy a Quest and a Rift S, and we were going to figure out what we want to do with Index once that announcement got made the next day, is what it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be the first, I think, that they were supposed to announce everything. So our whole plan kind of got foiled, but, I mean, it did. And, I mean, we were super disappointed that we couldn't buy it that day, and I'm sure everybody else was. I mean, everybody on the forums, and everybody's been going crazy wanting to get the Quest and the Rift S on launch, which we thought was going to be the 30th, and that didn't happen, so.
Yep. Yeah, some of the guys were even saying they got it in on the first wave of Index. I'm actually curious how many there were
I would love to know.
On those first shipments, because, I mean, nobody knows if it was, 100, 1,000,
20,000. I mean, who knows? Like, I mean, it could be a huge number or a really small number. I'm guessing it's probably a really small number in retrospect because of how quick it sold out. Like, I mean, it's $1,000. I mean, that kit is $1,000.
It's a marketing thing too, though. Don't get me wrong. I mean, look at what Nintendo's done over the last year. You limit the supply and you drive demand. I mean, that's just how it goes.
Right.
And it's smart. Don't get me wrong. But they also are a small company. They're not a huge company. So
yeah, especially hardware wise.
Oh yeah, I went through it with drones. I bought a Solo, and DJI was the other big company at the time. They actually drove Solo out just because they were small. They couldn't, keep up with production and put them out and stuff. Yep, it happens, but I mean, Valve won't go anywhere, obviously.
Oh no, I mean, they're a huge company and amount of money they have and stuff like that. But they're just not as big of a hardware company. They're a software company.
They just don't have experience in it yet, and that means a lot.
And they're really supposedly doing a lot of this in house, so they're not sourcing out all this stuff to be built and stuff. So we don't know. I mean, we could get. I mean, even the shipment date of, June 28th, I think is the original ship date for if you got the first pre-orders in.
Sure.
But who knows if that's going to get pushed back. I mean, that might not even happen June 28th, and then we're all going to be, not very happy. But, I mean, it's hard to say how many of these they have ready to go. Do they have any ready to go, or are they building them now?
It's projected units at this point. They're probably hardly even they're not even probably packaged at this point. So, they're working probably on that now and then get it to distribute. Well, maybe not getting it to distributors. I don't know. It depends on who's going to actually sell it.
So as far as I understand, I think Valve themselves are the only ones really selling it. Like, that's the only place you're going to be able to buy it, at least right now, is online. I don't know.
Right.
I'm hoping eventually they will get it into some brick and mortar stores, some Best Buys, Walmarts, because Walmart is starting to get into the virtual reality game. They're going to be carrying Quest now and Go.
But what about even like Amazon? Are they going to get stock of it?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. They need to.
I would think it'd be dumb of them probably not to, just because of the ease of purchase.
Yeah, and talking about that, I think the Quest hit #1 like game sales on Amazon already. So I mean, the pre-orders, and I mean, you can pre-order those a lot of places. So I mean, it's not just Amazon. So if Amazon's doing that good, I think the Quest is going to be pretty huge. I mean, it seems like they sold a lot.
Purchase, man. One click buy on Amazon.
That's true.
I mean, done. It's showing up.
Yeah.
But Paradise Decay was saying he thinks maybe around like 5,000 units of the index.
Yeah.
Which
and that would be,
I would think that would be probably the right number.
Yeah.
It's going to be close.
Yeah, and one thing that a lot of people were saying with the index dropping and being so expensive that it really helped Oculus. And the thing is, it's hard to say. It's such a weird market right now because it's so new. But in all reality, I've seen a lot of posts and stuff from hardcore PC gamers. And these are guys that don't mind spending money. They got the best of the best PCs and everything, but they haven't.
Sim racing. People sim racing, flight sims. They'll spend all kinds of money.
So they haven't gotten into VR, and I've heard a lot of them talk about it. And it's just because they didn't want the trade offs that the first generation had. They didn't want the lower resolution, the screen door effect, the God rays, like all that stuff. So they were waiting for something better. So this might have been a product that all them people have been waiting to jump on board for. Maybe that's why we saw a pretty big sellout pretty quick. And I don't know. I mean, that's just a guess.
Think too, just by them going, what they're calling like the developer route, with all the plugins and upgrades and future stuff.
Yeah.
And I know some guys don't like the word future proof, but it does allow for further development. Not that it's future-proof, because nothing's future-proof.
No.
The day it comes out, it's dated, But it still leads it to have a longevity, at least.
You're talking about with that module in the front that you can, And I'm curious to see what all they're going to do with that. I know they talked about an LED display. They talked about, obviously leap motion hand tracking. I don't know. And I was, VR365 was talking about it some, and I don't know if maybe they'll do something with wireless. Like you could plug in a wireless module into that front thing. I would think because it's powered.
Right,
so I would think you'd be able to do something like that. I don't know, but that would be awesome because a lot of people were kind of disappointed with no wireless. That was one thing that people were like, "Oh man, no wireless." Which, I mean, they do it with the Vive and they have that what's they call the HTC Link or whatever it is. I don't remember what the specific name.
Yeah.
But there's a couple companies now that are doing it. So I mean, it's not that it's
chat with that.
Yeah, it's not undoable. You know what I mean? Like it's definitely doable. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, actually, in the chat, people are selling off organs. So if you'd like some extra
we got
organs,
hey, that's what I wanted to do. That's what I wanted to do.
That's what everyone does.
Yeah. Yeah, so really in my mind, I wasn't going to pre-order the Index right off the bat. I was really planning on going and buying the Rift S and the Quest, and it came down, I literally decided 1 minute before the pre-orders went live. I was watching it, and I was watching some live chat stuff, and I was like, oh man, I don't know what to do. And I actually texted my wife, and I was like, should I pre-order this thing? It's about to go live in 1 minute. And I was like, and it's crazy expensive. And she just texted me back and said, go for it. So I was like, all right. I mean, it took my thought process out of my head. I didn't even have to think about it anymore. I'm like, I'm just going to go for it. You know what I mean? I want to try to get this and see what happens. So I did also pre-order Quest, and I think you did too.
I did as well. Yeah, I think Quest is its own beast. I don't think it's to compete with high-end VR.
Oh, no.
But I think it's an amazing product.
For the mobile aspect. The mobile aspect of it, you can take it with you on vacations. You can take it with you to work to show people, parties. It's going to be great for that because that's still going to be a much better VR experience than what Gear VR and Go is and stuff like that because of that 6 degrees of freedom. And it's got really good screens. I mean, the screens are going to look pretty good in it. So
they said it looks better than the Rift S.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's OLED screens at higher resolution, technically. I mean, you're not going to be able to push the headset like a PC would. Obviously, you're not going to get PC graphics and stuff like that, for sure. But for a mobile headset, it's going to be something new that we're going to love, I'm sure.
I know. Some of the guys were just saying they want to know if the 1080 can run the Index, Speaking of pushing it. I mean, it's on a 1080 Index should run it no problem, given you're not going to run the higher refresh rates.
But you got a recommended spec as a 1070. So they're showing 980s, I think, for the minimum spec. I forget exactly what it was. But I mean, that's not going to be the 120 hertz. I mean, they're doing an 80 hertz, a 90 hertz, a 120 hertz, and a 144 hertz. Right. So I'm sure on a lower end, you're going to have to run the lower refresh rate. Yeah. But I mean, I would think a 1080 should be able to do the 120, hopefully.
Absolutely. I don't think, refresh rate doesn't have, I don't think, as big of an impact on hardware as it does graphically and optimization, truthfully.
Yeah.
I mean, it does because, you're pushing more out. So I do get it. But, just like the Quest, I mean, it's all about optimization. You're running these games that, think when we first had our Rifts, originally, some of these games were out day one almost.
Mm-hmm.
And it was hard for us to run them on 1060s back then.
Yeah.
So now they're running those same games flawlessly in a Snapdragon. So
835.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's
So it is all about
optimization.
it. Really is. I mean, even the current hardware tech that we have, if the games are better optimized, you can run them on much lower spec machines. I mean, it really is all about optimization. So, and I think with the 144 hertz, that is like an experimental thing, and I don't think there's going to be a whole lot that's going to do 144 hertz off the bat. Like, I think it's going to be real basic things. But the thing that I'm excited about is that the panels can do 144 hertz.
Exactly.
So to me, down the road, when we get, well, I mean, in a sense, like there are some, in a sense, yes, but like. So when we get, we're running 2080s right now, but, the next generation of graphics cards, they might not have any issue at all pushing 144 hertz. We might be able to run everything on 144 hertz, what I mean? So it's nice that the panels can do it, what I mean? It's nice that the headset can do it.
Absolutely. Yeah, Gaming is Still Life was saying, like, with X-Plane and stuff, because, I mean, to run that kind of, like, X-Plane it's tough, and you've tried it too.
Yeah.
And we have beefy computers, so it's demanding, and then those are games that are originally PC games too, so they push the higher hertz and stuff already, so natively. So so I do get it. It's out there, and for the sim guys and stuff, it's unbelievable, and the Index will be a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. It's not. I mean, you're a little more on the fence about it than I am. You're really leaning right now towards wanting a Pimax as well. I don't know if you're ready to get into that, but you are.
Well, I'm ready. I don't know. You're the one holding me back from it.
Yeah.
Probably,
so my only issue with the Pimax is just that I'm worried about shipping back and forth to China. Like right now, you order out of China. If you have any issues, and they have had some issues. They've had some quality control issues. They've had some things here and there. I mean, nothing real major. They had some cord issues. Some people are having their cases get some cracks and stuff. They have that newer edition that costs more money.
It was setup issues at first too. That was scaring a lot of people away. And
they've updated the software, like that Pi tool, a lot. And I mean, they've really come a long way. So as long as they keep going, but I really want to see it sold in the U.S. Like we're in the U.S. I really want to see it in stores and stuff, so that if you have an issue, you can return it and get another one. I mean, I'm telling you right now, you go to that big wide field of view. And you get used to that. When that thing breaks and you got to ship it back to China, you are going to be miserable. I know, but going back to that, it's going to be tough.
It is. I mean, it's not like I would use it maybe for everything. I don't know. Right. I mean, I've dealt with shipping stuff back. I've had drones I've had to ship back.
To China?
Overseas. Yeah, I've shipped stuff. I've shipped some gimbals from DJI.
I mean, it definitely complicates it and makes the time frame a little longer.
It takes long. It does. It does.
We'll show some...
Yeah, I was going to say, didn't we have some pics of that the guy who, because the head straps I know are kind of an issue with that too.
Oh yeah, so
did you have that?
So a lot of people, let's see here. So this is a modded Pimax headset.
Is cheap.
This was
that's what I keep saying. Yeah. Gaming Still Life said it's cheap. I mean, look, you can buy that.
Right.
Their controllers for the exact same price as the Index, and for me, I want to buy something that's forward jump for me, not a lateral. And I don't think Index is lateral, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But
it's not like a true, I don't know if you can really call it true Generation 2. I mean, it's definitely...
It can be.
I would say more like a 1.5. Like, it's got a lot of improvements we want, you know what I mean? It's got,
1.75. Let's go with that.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
Mean, it's not, what Oculus did, where they just did a couple upgrades.
It's a little more of an upgrade than what the Rift S compared to CV1 just in the overall market. So this picture here, though, this was something that was posted on Reddit, and this guy has his Pimax, and he said he's done a bunch of mods to his Pimax to make it more enjoyable. And this was a post about being excited for the Quest. Like he said he's got like the best headsets. I think he has an X-Tall too or something like that.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
And so he said he has the best of the best, but he's still excited for Quest because there's no setup time. You grab the thing, you slap it on your head, you're in VR. You're good to go.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I think it saves like 5 boundary locations, I believe. Yeah. So, but this headset, like this is what I was telling Tyler. I was like, if you get a Pimax, you need to do something like this. So you can see he's got like a 3D printed like forehead mount.
Yeah,
and then
kind of
like
the Lenovo setup a little bit too.
Right.
Like I don't know. It's hard to tell. Like
it is hard to tell. This is the only picture that I saw, but he also has the Vive deluxe audio strap on there. It looks like. Yep. So I mean, this is comfort-wise because right now they are coming out with different head straps, but none of them have been released yet. So right now it's just just your basic elastic straps, and you got this big old hammerhead on your face.
And honestly, the only thing holding me back are the release of the controllers. Probably, if they dropped the controllers on it, and it was a decent bundle, and they, the pre-order it shows for their controllers, even though I think that was the old controllers, says $300. So I don't know if that's their price point or what.
Yeah, I don't know.
But
so this is the Sword controllers, and you can talk a little bit about these. You've done a little bit more research on these.
I love. Yeah, I think they're great. To me, they're essentially touch controllers with where the touch I think should have gone. Probably, I think it's blended between the touch and the knuckles essentially, but it still has the physical grip button on the underside, which I like. I think. I don't know, because for a lot of games and first-person shooters and stuff, you want to either be I want to be 100% when I grab something, and I'm fearful that the pressure sensors of the knuckles, I don't know how that's going to work. It's going to be different.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be something we got to try because, I mean, it might work really, really well, and it might be not so well. I know after the last update that they did for those controllers, everybody says like the finger tracking and everything is working so good because before they did have some issues when some of the developer kits went out. They weren't fully there yet, but supposedly now they're like pretty awesome. And on this picture, these are actually the two different controllers, right?
Yes, they are. The one on the right is the Sense, and the one on the left is the standard Sword. And there's a lot of guys who are worried that we're like original backers of these because when they first came out, there was only to be an option for the analog sticks and the touchpad. So either or, left and right, mix and match, whatever that may be. Well, now they came out with the Sense. So the Sense controller on the right also has the finger, the sensors on the lower, just like it's not pressure sensors like the knuckles,
right? But
it does know where your fingers are. So I feel like it's a great mix. But yeah, all those backers I know we're kind of worried which ones now are they going to get, if either, or how that's going to work.
So the main difference with the Sense one, the one on the right, is the thumbsticks, correct?
No, it's basically just the lower fingers on the bottom side. Well, no, I'm trying to think about this. Yeah, I think the Sense ones only come with the analog stick
and then
at the top.
You can get the version with just touchpad, which I'm not a fan of just touchpad. I love thumbsticks, which I know a lot of other people do.
It's more precise for gaming and stuff. If you're trying to build like a VR experience for somebody who doesn't know VR, I think touchpad's great.
Right.
But anybody who's any type of gamer, you're going to want sticks.
So this is one in hand. The only thing that I don't know about these things is that big, huge ring that goes around your wrist. It just seems kind of weird to me.
I think it's great for tracking, though. I really do.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I mean, not that I lose tracking with touch or anything, but I think it's good.
I'm sure. It just looks weird, but you're never going to see it once the headset's on anyway. So, I mean, I don't know. It's just, and this picture doesn't look too bad, and some of the other pictures, it just looks really bulky. So this picture here kind of shows you the shape a little bit more of the part you put in your hand does remind you a little bit more of a touch controller. Like you have, just the shape of this part and the way it fits your hand is a little bit more like a touch controller, which I love the touch controllers.
Don't look at that halo part on it. The rest of it looks like it then. Yeah.
Yeah, and I love my touch controllers. Like
everyone's
I love
wondering about the price of them. It's a guess at this point. Some people, in some of their videos were saying they think it should be the same as the knuckles or compete. I don't. It's a guess. It'll be close.
That's what I think. I think it's going to be really close to the knuckles. I mean, essentially, it's a very similar controller. I mean, they're doing a lot of the very similar things.
It is.
So
yeah, what did we pay for our touch controllers originally? $200, I think. $199.
I believe when it first came out, when you just got the touch controllers and the extra sensor, I believe it was $199, and then they eventually dropped to like $99. I think they are now.
Someone, Moon in the chat just said that 2080 Ti can't even run 90 frames per second smoothly on Pimax.
I have heard that.
Is that from experience? Do you know that, or is that just hearsay? I'm curious because that would be.
Yeah, I mean, because we have 2080s, not the Ti. So and I know that you can do a lot of things with that too, where you can limit the field of view, so you go down the field of view. But who wants to buy a Pimax and lower the field of view? You know what I mean? If I want a Pimax, I want it because it's got that huge field of view. That's the big thing about the Pimax over everybody else.
I was actually thinking about that last night. But if you physically look though, you don't truly need all that field of view, like the rendering of that, because you can't actually see across. If you hold your hand out in front of you and pull it to the side, you actually lose focus of that, even if you try and look over, because you're only seeing with one eye at that point because your nose blocks the other side. So really, you should never have to render past a certain field of view, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Which I know they're trying things like that, and I know Xtal is doing a really good job of doing stuff like that. And they have the curved panels, which I think need to happen
I think so
with
too.
every headset. I mean, just for example, look at like a flat screen TV. If you go to an angle, it loses, its clarity.
Yeah.
So on a flat screen, when you're that close to it, you're going to lose some of that clarity at an angle.
Yeah. So I did pop up this picture real quick to show some of the, this is what you were telling me a little bit about. So it still is going to have the full, like it'll track all 5 fingers, right?
Right.
To where the touch controllers really only do 2 and a thumb.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep. Which even the thumb, though, isn't fully tracked.
No, it's just kind of like this. I mean, it just senses when it's on the button. Yeah, so you can do a thumbs up, you can put it on the button, and your thumb will go down, which a lot of people already have that. But
which the knuckles, I think, actually have. Don't they have full finger tracking on the thumb?
I'm not sure, actually. I know they have like all finger. It's all touch sensitive. You know what I mean? So it's like it knows when your fingers are open and closed. Somebody was saying that that the index controllers, I guess it's hard to call them index controllers and call them knuckles for so long. But either way, that's one of the only controllers right now that you're going to be able to play rock, paper, scissors with.
Right.
Which, I don't know about you, but that's the only reason I got into VR.
Me too. Absolutely. I dreamed of that.
Rock, paper, scissors. It's all about the rock, paper, scissors. But yeah, so there's a lot of stuff. I mean, we could literally make this show last all day long and not run out of stuff to talk about right now, I feel like. I mean, it's a great time for VR right now. No, we won't do that. We won't do that to you, but I could. I mean, I would.
No, exactly. Yeah, we started talking even earlier this morning, and we're like, oh my gosh, there's just so much that's happening.
So one thing that I was curious about, and one thing I was thinking about is that right now, we're running CV1s and we're really used to a 90 frames per second. We're really used to that 90 hertz. So we're going to get the Quest and we're going to go down to 72 hertz, right? So if we get this index headset and we're playing with this all the time and we're running 120 hertz all the time, how much are we going to notice that? Like right now, I think switching between 90 and 72, we're not really noticing a whole lot. But I think when you get used to that 120 and then you drop down to 72, like is that going to be noticeable?
So everybody's different. So I noticed in years of buying, TV panels and stuff, a lot of people don't notice refresh rate or care. You can buy 4K TVs down to like 120 or maybe even 60 hertz. And some people don't notice. Yeah. I am super sensitive to that. I need like 240. Like if I don't have 240, it drives me crazy because I see pixelation on fast movement. So for me, it's a big thing. Some people don't care. Now, will it make you motion sick? Clearly it must not because they're pushing out something that low and everyone says it seems perfectly fine.
Yeah. And I think it will seem perfectly fine. I just don't know if it's going to be that much more noticeable when we get used to something that, because we've never seen 120 hertz, true 120 hertz in VR. I mean, I know the PC, PSVR does some stuff to get to 120 hertz, but it's not true 120 hertz on the headset. So,
upscale,
I mean, it'll be interesting to see how that works out. Like, I don't know if it's, I don't know if it's going to be hard to go back and forth. I hope not because I'm getting the Quest. And we'll probably get the Rift S too. We haven't pre-ordered that, but I think we're going to go ahead and probably pick one up. But I don't think there's any chance of those really selling out. I don't think. I think they're going to be in store, so we'll probably just when we go to pick up the Quest, maybe just pick up a Rift S too. I don't know yet. We're not fully decided on that, but
I know. I just don't feel like it's being that we have Rifts now. I don't feel like it's a huge upgrade. Do I want one? Yeah. Sure. I mean, at that price point, it's an easy buy.
$399.
Yeah, I mean, for an upgrade, if you have everything already.
It's just hard when you're buying all of this stuff at once. We're getting all of this stuff dropped right around the same time. It's like you're just putting out money left and right.
Quest, Index, Pimax.
Yeah, but I am curious about, the Quest, what they're going to do with the inside-out tracking and the pass-through, that stuff, and the easy setup, getting rid of some sensors. But, I'm not really gaining a whole lot by going to the Rift S, from the CV1. But and one thing that I'm excited about for the Index is it has color pass-through. So
I agree. That is nice. And I just saw a quick video. It was posted on the Facebook Oculus group of somebody doing grabbing a glass of water outside their boundaries with, I think it was the Quest, but reaching outside of it and coming transparent. And I told you, I hope they did. Yeah. Turn it on the cameras and change it.
And you can set it up in those too, where I think it's you double press the Oculus Home button, and it'll pull up the pass through so you can see stuff. So that's going to help because I mean, I know I mean, because now we're not going to have the nose gap like we used to. So I use that nose gap on my CV1 all the time. If I needed to pick something up, if I wanted to look up through the nose gap to see something on the computer monitor, I use that all the time, which now it's going to be nice. You double tap that button and you can see what you need to see right on the fly.
Yep. Wonder if we could see our cell phones. That's the only other one. I always look down to like check something on a cell phone.
Like how the image quality would be through the pass-through, like if it's
well,
good
being
enough
it's
to
that
read.
close, I mean, do we have to hold our cell phone out, you know, here
I never
to
thought
try?
about that, yeah. I mean, in this day and age when we're all addicted to our cell phones, you know, I mean, that's a good option to
sad,
have.
Though. Once,
you know,
once,
it is sad.
Once I put a VR headset on, I couldn't even tell you what time of day.
Oh,
if
you
it's
lose
light
track
out,
of
if it's dark
timing,
out.
yeah.
Oh,
I get in trouble all the time. I'm supposed to be somewhere. We're supposed to be doing something. And I'm like, I was only on for 30 minutes. Like, oh, crap. No, it was 4 hours.
I know. And truly, it's no intent to do that. But it just happens. You know, you become so involved in it that you really just don't. And it's hard to describe that. But yeah. Yeah, I'm still happy with where I'm headed with it right now with the Index and the Quest. I mean, if somebody is looking to get a Rift, I still think it's a great buy. I really do.
For what, the S or the C?
Yeah, the S. I mean, if I was getting an Index, then I probably would. I mean, it'd be a no-brainer.
Yeah, and I think it's great for people that are it's going to be their first PC headset because, I mean, the setup is still going to be easier than the Index. You know, the Index, you're still going to have lighthouses and stuff. You know, it's still, no matter how you look at it, it's a little bit more of a complicated setup than what the Rift S is. I mean, the Rift S, you're going to plug into the computer, put your headset, hopefully they have everything smoothed out by the time it releases. But, you know, I mean, it's going to be a simplified setup. If you're not a PC guy, you know, hopefully it should be. I mean, it's a great first headset. I mean, it really is. I mean, CV1 was a great first headset, but it was complicated to set up.
It was tricky. Yeah, and then it came with 2 sensors, and they said you don't need a third. And then, you know, we initially bought it right away when they dropped it. We knew it had to have one, and obviously it did. Now they even say it needs 3, you know.
So what I did back then is I already had the headset and the touch. I had 2 sensors. I actually bought a whole nother bundle of the controllers and the sensor. I kept the sensor, and I sold the 2 controllers on eBay for almost as much as I paid for it because they were kind of hard to get back then.
No, you couldn't even buy the third camera set.
Yeah,
no,
I can't remember.
You couldn't. Because then you thought somebody will want touch, like, just without having that third
and even backup controllers, you know what I mean? So somebody bought it. Yeah, I sold it on eBay, and it worked out great.
Absolutely.
I don't know if anybody noticed my coffee mug here. I just got this in. So this is an official VR roundtable cup. They dropped their merchandise not long ago, and I had to have one. So I ordered one. I thought it'd be great. You know, coffee and VR, I love it. And I also have another one coming from somebody else that another well-known YouTube guy that should... Okay, I won't say, but it should be here next week. So next week's episode, I should have a different coffee cup. I'm excited for that one too. It's gonna be awesome.
Yep.
So
I know. I think we got in the conversation of that by us. We were wanting to create some, and I think we started asking some questions about it.
Yeah, and then I saw the VR roundtable ones. I was like, oh, I gotta have one of those coffee cups.
Absolutely.
And I mean, it helps support the guys too. I mean, they've been doing this for a long time, and so it helps support them.
Yeah,
and I'm all about that. So
it all helps. I know they put a lot of work into their stuff, as you know, as do we, and we're new at this, so you know, we're no experts on it, but. I mean, we really do try. I mean, just for the sake of the community, essentially. So yeah.
All right. Well, where do you want to go next? You want to play this music video we have?
I think so. It might wake everybody up a little.
Yeah. So this
should have let everybody get their coffee and stuff.
Yeah. So hopefully everybody does have their coffee. But this actually came out when I first saw this. I saw it like earlier last week, and I saw this, and I was like, oh, this is probably like some kind of spoof video. You know what I mean? And it was actually really good. Like. So this girl that sings this song, and I'm guessing she wrote this song too, but she actually does a really good job. I don't know if she's in. So she is in chat. I actually see her.
Is she? Nice.
So
cool.
I'm not sure how to say her name. It's Pengi. Pengi. I'm not sure. But either way, she's in chat, and we're going to show this video. And I mean, she is really, really good. And we're going to show the video, and then we'll talk about it some more. Is. But I have to warn you, when you listen to this video and you hear the music, it's one of those songs that gets stuck in your head. I'm not joking. I've been singing this song in my head all week long. So
I know.
Just be prepared for that.
I love the way she shot this too. I like that.
So really you'll see, and we can talk about it some more. So I'm gonna go ahead and play it. So we'll let you guys listen.
I'm gonna pour me some coffee too.
You got it already set up there on your desk, right? All right, I'm gonna play it here. Here we go.
Good.
Would be every day felt like 3. Now that it's here, I feel I could burst. I'll go get you day 1 on May 21st. Oh, Oculus Quest, you'll be the best. We'll wear you on our heads and we'll be yours. Soon we'll remember the good old days of fighting over release dates and Oculus names. One guy ate a sock and now he's Reddit fame. Oh, Oculus Quest, you'll be the best. We'll wear you on our heads and we'll be free. No limit to what we can be. Oculus Quest, no limit to what we can be. Oculus Quest.
I loved it. It's so good. Like, I don't know. I mean, somebody said in chat that somebody needs to send her. Who was that? So Fantasy Film Productions. They said someone needs to send her a request. So did you see that she put in the song too about the guy that said I would eat a sock if it doesn't get released on the 30th or whatever? And supposedly they sent him one. From what I heard, they actually sent him one for doing all that. I mean, I don't know why, but it was one of those publicity stunt things. But I mean, she definitely deserves a quest way more than that guy. I mean, for that song is great. I mean, it honestly. It was in my head all week last week. I was singing it in my head.
Oculus should definitely buy this from her, and they should put this on mainstream TV as their commercial. Game over.
I totally agree. I mean, I hope they do that because if you played this on a mainstream commercial, I mean, it's all the advertisers want those songs for their stuff that stick in your head. So you think about their products all the time, and that's what I did last week. I mean, I sang this song in my head. I probably listened to the song, I don't know, 2 or 3 times maybe last week. I don't know how many. And I couldn't stop singing it. Like, it's just like that beat and that, it just played in my head all week long. I loved it. I thought it was great.
You sent it to me and I thought it was a joke. And
that's what I thought too.
This is actually really good.
Yeah, I started playing it. I was like, oh my goodness, this girl, like, she can sing really good and the song is awesome. Like, I love the song. So we are going to put the link to her page and her video in the description. We haven't added that in there yet, but we will after the show's over. So, and you can... Definitely. She's got a bunch of music stuff on there. So I guess she's been doing this for a while and just, she's a singer, songwriter. Like, they do a bunch of songs. So I checked out some of her other stuff and it's really cool. I just thought it was really cool to share that. And I messaged her beforehand just to make sure, she was cool with us playing the video because, I mean, this is her song. I didn't want to play it if she wasn't okay with it. And luckily she said, yeah, go ahead. So
one step closer to radio.
Oh, I'm telling you, like, this is, I mean, that really could be, like, I could see this on TV, on commercials, like, so hopefully somebody from Oculus watches this at some point in time, and they see that, and they're like, oh, man, I got to contact this girl, so, I mean, it's great. I mean, it would be a great advertising thing. I think it's awesome, so, and it seems like everybody in chat really enjoyed it, too. We're getting a lot of clapping hands, and...
Yeah, it is. It's great. Yeah, big ups to her for that. I know. Yeah. It's cool.
Yeah, I think that's really awesome, so I was really excited to share that today.
My guitar somewhere. I don't know where.
I don't think you can sing like her though, and I don't know if we want to hear that either. So.
Oh, you definitely hear that.
Maybe you guys can do a Ode to Quest duo. So I really hope they send her one. Like, they need to send her one. Seriously, she should get an early one right now. Send her one right now. If somebody's listening, send her one right now.
I know.
So, and it's awesome to see that she's excited about it too. You know what I mean? Like, it's awesome to see. Because I mean, it almost seems like there's so many like people that we talk to that are all guys, but there's a lot of girls that are into this too. Yeah, there's tons of them, and they're more and more all the time. So I think it's it's just super fun. I mean,
so I know she's in chat here, and I'd love to hear from her. But have you ever had a VR headset, or gotten into it, or do you have one currently? I'm curious.
Yeah, like a Go.
Or is this like something new to you, and you like the idea of it, or?
Yeah, I am curious about that too. Yeah. I don't know. Like, have you been into VR for a while, or is this just an exciting new time that everybody's jumping on?
And maybe the outreach of VR. That's what I'm wondering is reaching people that aren't even into it.
Yeah.
And hopefully it is, and I think it will be. I mean. Facebook's kind of slowing it down a little, but
we're getting some song requests from her now. Somebody said
we should have had her on live so she could have played something for us.
Yeah, somebody just said next an Index song, please.
There you go. Next week.
Awesome. Hey, I mean, if you do send it to us, we will definitely put it on here. We'll air it on the show. That's
she can come play on the show.
Yeah. Sometime we could definitely do that. That'd be awesome.
For sure. Yeah.
Especially once we see. Although once she gets on TV, I mean, she's probably not going to want to talk to us little people anymore.
We can't afford. We don't have much of a budget. So.
I hope she remembers us when she makes it big. I'm serious. Like, I'm dead serious. I hope she does because I think it's awesome. So I don't think she said yet about
yeah.
She said LOL index song. Yeah.
That's awesome.
But I love the song. I really thought it was cool. So
I know it is cool.
Glad we got to share that with you guys. So what else we got here?
Yeah, let me look. We could hit up the.
You want to show the Boneworks real quick with the index controllers?
Sure.
I mean the touch controllers.
Yeah, sure. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Actually, I think I put it here.
Oh yeah, and then I want to talk about the.
So this video here is the game Boneworks that everybody's excited about, and one of the things that got us so excited about it is the knuckles or the index controllers. But in this video, it actually kind of shows you. It's just like a little GIF or whatever.
Right.
But it'll show you that even with the touch controllers, you're still able to move your hands like on the baseball bat. So you're not going to have that full finger tracking. But I'm sure if you release some, with your middle finger and you're able to move. So they've said this game is completely playable with the touch controller still. Like there's not going to be, so if you're not getting an index, you don't have to worry about, well, I didn't get an index, I'm not going to be able to play Boneworks. That's not going to be the case, It's going to work great with that, so.
Yeah. Boneworks is just killing it. I mean, they've already got their name out there. They don't even have anything out yet, and there's a lot of hype of it.
Yeah,
so.
They don't have anything out for the game yet. They do have the duck season, or duck season. I don't remember what it was called, but they did come out with that a while ago. Same guys.
Yep.
But
yeah, can we hit up the? I want to talk about the headphones on the index too before we get too far from the index.
Oh yeah. So this is a little video. So these are basically, this is one of the big things I think about index. This is where they're kind of mixed it up from the norm of what we've seen in a headset. So I know for me, and I think you're the same way, like for the earbuds, you know what I mean? Like I don't really want the earbuds in my ear when I play VR. And at least for me, because I have smaller ear canals where they kind of hurt after a while and it's just not comfortable.
Right.
So I loved my Rift headphones, but they still put a little bit of pressure on your ear. Not much. Yeah, but they sounded good, but this is a completely different design. So this is not going to sit on your ear anymore. And we have another picture, I think.
I think just by not being on it, it leads to immersion. Everyone else is talking about, the sound bleed through and everything. Right. I don't think that's a big deal for me. I don't. The immersion's better. My wife tries the headset on, and she doesn't like it because she said she feels trapped, like there's just too much on her head. So this takes away from that. So I think that's a good
I haven't even thought of that, actually.
Yeah, nobody really talked about that. And I think that's half of why they want to do it. I mean, it just gives you better spatial sound as well because you're used to volumes coming in and bouncing off your ear canal,
right.
Instead of just being inputted directly into your ear canal.
Yep,
so and
this is actually a completely different speaker design. So that, like you see on the left, like that's a normal, like piston-driven speaker, and that's what we're used to hearing. So this is actually a completely different design of the speaker, and it covers a much larger range of frequencies. So you can get the lows, you can get the highs, you can get all that stuff. And it's called BMR speaker technology, which I forget what it stands for.
It's more how sounds are transmitted because sounds are always in wavelengths, and you always have your highs and lows on that. And this creates that, because you get natural acoustics off walls, and we've talked about this just from streaming purposes, but when you have corners, you get those bounces. So with a regular, like driver type speaker, like a piston style, you're getting one push. Mm-hmm. You're not getting those different waves, which it's all it really is awesome. I love what they're doing. A lot of people overlook it, but sound is, to me, sounds not half of it. But spatial audio, I mean, we talk about this all the time. Games that have really good spatial audio, it's a world of difference. It really is.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is definitely something that I'm excited to try out. And I think it is supposed to help with the spatial audio. And I just wanted to read this. It says, unlike traditional pistonic or flat panel speakers, BMRs uniquely combine vertical and horizontal dispersion using horizontal vibration modes. This means BMRs can deliver much wider soundstage and a truly room-filling experience. So, I mean, I think it's just going to sound a lot more realistic. The spatial is going to be better. The sound output, the frequencies will be more like real life than what a normal speaker is.
I know. And Fantasy Film in the chat was saying it's going to take you basically, take away the immersion because of the bleed through and stuff. But, for me, I think with something that close and that loud, something would have to be extremely loud in the background to probably, and maybe that's something that I want to hear anyways, because it's something I need to, you know what I mean? And
so that way, if somebody breaks into your house and is trying to steal your TV, maybe now you'll hear them. But before you wouldn't.
I'm standing there with no furniture in my office.
I think there was a commercial or a video I saw something like that. But I mean, in all reality, like it depends a lot on your environment too. So I mean, if you are living in a place where it's really, really loud all the time,
Sure.
and I can understand that. If you're in a closed off area more where you're not going to hear a lot of sounds from the rest of the house and stuff. And also, if you watch the tested video where they went hands on with this, they were saying that this will go really loud. So they said turned up, it's almost too loud. So I mean, you should be able to crank it up pretty high where you can bleed everything else out, I'm hoping.
And they're not limiting it to just those headphones because they still have a plug-in for headphones. So if it really is an issue, slap on some headphones. Problem solved. You know,
so you can detach these. You can detach them. Yeah.
You know, if you're there by yourself, it's quiet and stuff. Comfort, awesome. You can be in there for hours.
Yeah.
But if you have people there or a party or something, throw some headphones on them. You know, and that's going to be, I mean, probably the way to go for people. I like that they're doing this. I do. I think it's something different.
I do too. I'm excited. And I think
they must have a good reason to. I mean, it must sound really good.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just one less step. You know what I mean? Like normally you're putting on, so you put on like the CV1, you put that on, and you move your headphones to your ears, which I guess these you'll still probably have to move because I guess there is somewhat of a sweet spot, so you want them in the right spot, but hopefully it's just one less thing to do. And Rift S and Quest has kind of went to a design, you know, where they're pumping the speaker through the strap.
Right.
And it can be nice, I think, in a really quiet environment because it doesn't get as loud, but you don't get the same spatial audio you're going to get out of this. You don't get, you know, the same frequencies and everything.
It all
else
sounds like it's coming from like above and back or forward a little bit.
Yeah, forward,
like,
yeah. So, I mean, I think it'll be good in a sense to have that, but, I mean, I'm really hoping they come out with some really good clip-on headphone designs right off the bat.
It sounds like everyone in the chat's, like, mixed. I know, like, some people feel that it is going to take you out of immersion, and I get it. You know, we don't either of us have kids or anything, so for us, we don't have a lot of distractions, you know, minus, you know, dog barking or something.
Yeah, somebody comes up to the door or Amazon delivering the dog goes crazy.
Here at the window right before we went live, and I about jumped out of the seat because
a bird just straight flew into his window like full speed. I could hear it, like I heard it through his mic, and I was like, "What was that?" Like,
so I get it. It does happen. I mean, there's still ways around it.
And all of it's really hard to say because none of us have got to try it yet. So I mean,
it's all preference. Nobody's going to be the same.
Yeah,
you know, as with everything, no one's going to be the same.
Yeah, some people would rather have earbuds, you know, than an over-ear phone. Yeah.
For me, it's all about options.
Yeah, give us
what
the options.
I want and customizing, and that's why I think the Index is taking a good leap forward because they have those customizations.
Yeah, and that's always good because everybody, like you said, is different. So give us the options. Let us make it to what we want.
From the factory, showing them popping off. I mean, everything. It's just the module on the front.
So I do have the. So this is the way the headphones will sit on your ear. So you can see in this how it's not actually on your ear. This is how it sits. So it's supposed to not touch your ear and just project the sound.
And I made a comment, I forget, I think maybe in VR 365's chat yesterday or the day before, but I said, why couldn't you print like some cups, like larger cups, if you really want to dampen the outside noise?
Yeah.
I mean, I could print cups out in an hour. Probably.
Put some padding on it and make it closed off to your ears. Yeah,
snap onto the plastic piece going around it, and there you go.
I don't see why that wouldn't be possible. So
it wouldn't even have to have padded foam because as long as it just doesn't come too close, go past the strap. As I'm looking at that picture, as long as it doesn't go past that horizontal strap, it should never really contact it. But
yeah, and I'm sure there's going to be aftermarket companies. I mean, if this thing sells good enough, there's going to be people making all kinds of stuff for it. So, and Hussein X said that Norm praised the sound quality of the Index, and he did in that tested video. He talked about how great it was, and also the refresh rate. He talked about it being like downing a couple Cokes and getting a caffeine high, and you're just super aware of everything. Like everything's just kind of like so.
Which is more realism.
Yeah. So and I'm just really excited to get some hands-on time with this. And
the other thing, just as looking at this picture that I like, I mean, we do and I do buy a lot of higher end electronics, so. For this, I think the quality in terms of like the materials they're using is really nice. I like the colored material for the fabric they're using for the face pad. It matches the straps on the knuckles.
Yeah.
I think it just flows really well. It looks good. The customization of it, it's just quality. Where I feel like, I don't know, Facebook and Oculus are going a little bit different route. I mean, don't get me wrong, their stuff still looks really nice, but I think this looks high end.
Yeah, I think
when you look at these controllers and then look at a touch controller, these look like twice the controller.
Yeah, well, it should be. I mean, we're paying $1,000 for this bundle right here. In this picture right here, that's what you're getting for $1,000. I mean,
I get it. But for the touch controllers, we paid $200.
Yeah.
So what? These are $79 more.
And the price is going to come down. I mean, this is launch price, so you're going to be paying a premium. And they knew people were going to. You know what I mean? They knew people were going to buy this headset at $1,000.
There's a demand. Yeah. The second Facebook and Oculus went the other direction, they're going the opposite because you're not going to compete probably with Oculus at that point. So you need to do something different.
Yeah. I mean, it is weird because they're going after Oculus and Facebook. I mean, the way they dropped the picture of the slider, the IPD slider, you know, when they talked about what the Rift S specs were going to be, they dropped that like right away, accidentally, you know, it wasn't an accident. Right. And then literally like 5-10 minutes before F8 started, or they dropped all the information. Like, so I mean, they're definitely trying to go head to head with them.
How crazy was that too? I was watching all the live streams, like everyone's live stream, the F8 live stream, and that dropped.
They stole thunder. I mean, they stole a lot of thunder. There was talk all over the forums. I mean, even in the chat, like once it went to F8, if you were in the live stream chats, everybody was talking about Index. So I mean,
but see, that's why I like what they're doing, because Oculus just sits on stuff, and that's why guys are leaving. Like Brendan's leaving, and like they're all out because they're taking their time and going too slow with it.
Yeah, and a lot of the original guys.
They're gone. But look what they've been testing for a year and a half, 2 years. There was images of Zuckerberg with gloves like a year and a half ago. You know?
Or maybe longer than that. I don't know.
Yeah, it's probably longer.
So I mean, I think they have plenty of technology, and they're probably leading the way in the technology aspect. They probably have better tech than most other people, I think, behind closed doors. They're just not ready to release any of it. But the original Oculus guys, they got upset because they wanted to push the boundaries. You know, they wanted the next headset to be a lot better than CV1, you know, and and that's not the route Facebook, Oculus went. And I can understand that though too, because we do need an entry level stuff that is good quality, that plays well, that's got good games for a reasonable price. Because not everybody's a VR enthusiast, and you're not going to make them a VR enthusiast until you get them into VR at a reasonable price. I mean, if this is your only option and it's $1,000, this is the only headset you can buy. VR isn't going to go mainstream. It's not going to.
Nope,
so I can understand both sides. I mean, I
absolutely can.
So Valve's kind of going after them, but they have two different strategies, and I think we need both strategies. So I'm glad that we have both. You know what I mean? I think it's great, and there's always good to have options. So the more options we have, the better.
Oh yeah, it drives prices down on everything. The more companies there are introduced into it, which I still don't get why Oculus jumped in with Lenovo for some things, but whatever. I mean, to say that they couldn't produce stuff and keep them focused on other things.
Yeah, and we don't know what they're doing.
3 years,
we don't know what they're doing behind closed doors. Like after all of this, like the shots that Valve kind of took at Oculus, I am kind of curious to see what we get out of Kinect this year. Like, is this going to push Oculus to release something a little higher end, a little sooner than what they expected? Like, are they just going to not care and just stick to their own game plan? I don't know. I don't know how it'll affect them as a company, if they even care. I don't know, but
absolutely.
And I mean, Quest and Rift S are still going to sell. I mean, you're seeing Quest sales through the roof. You know what I mean? Like, so far from what it seems like. So I mean, their game plan is still a good game plan too. Just like Valve's game plan, it can be a good game plan for the enthusiast market, because the enthusiast market was hungry for something like this. You know what I mean? And it's not everything all the enthusiasts wanted. It doesn't have the wireless. It's not super crazy field of view. It's Vive Pro screen specs, like resolution. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of bump ups, but it's not the end all be all headset by any means.
No, no, not at all. Nope.
So.
I was just looking in the chat. Somebody was just asking about the as a first headset, what should you get? Man, I just, that's a hard one, because it just all depends on what you have.
Yeah, truly. I think if you have a PC, so I mean, if you don't have a gaming PC, if you don't have a PC that's going to be able to run a PC VR headset well, I think Quest is an excellent option.
That's what I said honestly, like Quest is, if you don't have a PC that's capable of running VR, then buy a Quest, period. Yeah. Everybody should buy a Quest. I feel like everybody could have one that's into games, experiences, anything. Yeah. But if you have a PC that can handle VR already, not high-end, just a good PC, I think the Rift S is perfect. I really do. I think it hits a good price point. Yeah. Setup's easy, all of it. Easy to run, low hertz.
Yeah.
But then if you want to go high-end, if you have a beefy PC, into electronics, buying and paying for that new tech, the R&D, then go Index, or if you want to go higher, go Pimax. But that's kind of where I feel like they're all at right now. I'm not, I mean, the Vive Pro is still
It's
a
expensive.
good buy.
It's expensive. When I mean,
the Index coming out, there'd be no.
I think the Index would be a better choice over the Vive Pro personally.
Oh,
I've never had a Vive Pro, so I don't know. But
I mean, it's going to have about the same visuals probably in it, but
the Vive Pro is going to have less field of view, and they are doing some weird things with the field of view in the Index too, where they're like they have the canted lenses, but I mean, I think it's all hopefully going to be a really good way to increase the field of view without having to, have an even bigger, beefier PC. I mean, they're doing some tricks. I think they actually do have a wider field of view.
You're not rendering as many pixels then as well. So that's what's helpful.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm excited. I mean, and honestly, if you're first getting into PCVR, there are a lot a lot of options right now. I mean, you have all the Windows mixed reality stuff, which a lot of people really love that.
Don't get me wrong, you can get them cheap. So
and the Samsung, that's one of the best ones out there. I mean, it has great screens, and people love that. I mean, there's just so many options, and that's what we need. You know what I mean? Like we need a lot of options. So
absolutely, Reverb coming out, which again. I know, and if you're just if you are just into PC gaming and want a VR headset, that's probably where I would go. Like if I'm like a sim guy and I'm at a keyboard or I'm playing Elite Dangerous, that's a great headset. I mean, that's probably what I would buy.
Yeah, that resolution is ridiculous. And I mean, even Norm said from tested, he said that screen is still after using the Valve Index and stuff, that screen on that HP Reverb is, I mean, it's gorgeous. I'm sure. I mean, it's amazing. So.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. The other one too is that the Xtal, what they're doing with their lenses and stuff is kind of crazy too, with screens, all of it.
Yeah,
how they're rendering things, and they're low resolution, which is the crazy part. But supposedly it looks even better than a Pimax. But it's running at I think it's running at 2100, where the Pimax is running at 38. But yet it looks better.
Yeah, I don't know. I would love to try that. And hopefully that technology, they're going to push the envelope, and then the prices are going to start coming down. Because right now, I mean, I think the Xtal's like $3,000 or $4,000, I believe.
4,900.
Yeah, so almost $5,000. I mean, that's a lot of money. I mean, that's ridiculous money. Like the Valve Index is already $1,000, and that's crazy money to me. You know what I mean? Like I can't imagine. Like there's no way I'm spending that money. If they want to send us one, we would love to do some tests, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Somebody just asked, do you think Oculus will ever come out with their own gun stock? No, I don't. I don't think Oculus will. There's too many options out there now.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's not a broad enough market for them. It's kind of too niche.
Yeah.
But I think you have some actually news on that.
Yeah, so
you need like a breaking news banner across.
Yeah, dun dun dun. So me and Tyler love our gun stocks. We've been using a gun stock for a long time, and I mean we're big first person shooter guys, PvP guys.
Absolutely.
So I currently run the Pro Tube with the Mag Tubes. That's what I'm running right now, and I was worried because I just ordered this Index, and I'm like, oh man, I'm not going to be able to use my stock, So I reached out to Pro Tube. And I asked them, what are your plans for, the Valve Index controllers, the Pimax controllers? And he said that they weren't really ready to talk about the Pimax sword controllers yet, so they're not ready to talk about that. But they are working on the Valve Index controllers. And let me see what he said here. So he said the cups are ready and will be available to order in the coming days. So that's not an issue. So we should be able to use our our Index controllers with our Pro Tube day one, because he said they're going to be ready to order in the coming days. So we should be able to get those ordered before we even get the headset, which is awesome because I don't want to not be able to use my gun stock. And I don't know, he hasn't shown me
The first thing you're going to want to do is go in and play Contractors or something, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's going to look awesome. I love Contractors. Yeah. I mean, the visuals are really good in that game anyways, but so, I mean, I haven't seen the images or how this even works yet, how it's really going to attach and everything. So, but I am going to get them, and I should have them, before I get the headset. So we'll show those on the show here. I'll put them on the gun stock and stuff when we can show how the layout will work. So I'm definitely excited about that. And Pro 2 makes a bunch of stuff, so they're going to be making... they're going to keep up with all this stuff coming out, I'm sure. I mean, they've been working on it for a while, so.
Yeah, and they're getting that stuff. They have the Knuckles controllers. They're already working on it. They already know what they look like, feel like, tested, the whole bit.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they've had them, so.
Oh, yeah. I'm wondering how they're going to do that, though, with those controllers.
I don't know. That's what I was curious, too, because, a lot of what I figured it would have to do would be mount under the gun stock.
The upside down, I know.
Yeah, because of how the controllers work. The way it works now is
do that with the Pro Tube, though. You could still probably flip it
Yeah, so I don't know if they're going to go that route or if it's still going to be something that
either.
attaches from the top like how it does now. I don't know. Because you
They
have
could always
that.
do a clamp-on style.
Yeah, so I'm curious to see, but we'll definitely keep you guys updated once we get it
Yep.
in and we can talk about it.
Someone just asked if they built DIY fabrication using plastic plumbing tubes. I've used some, but I've printed all the like components, but use like PVC, some Schedule 80 PVC.
Yeah. So my cousin actually bought my old gaming PC off of me when I bought a new one, and he got a Rift for Black Friday. So Tyler did print him a 3D printed stock, and that was a magnet still too, right?
Yeah.
So there's definitely some options. I mean, and I'm sure there'll be stuff online to print stuff for the index controllers pretty soon too. So that's always an option. So he did say, the ProTube guys, they said about Pimax, we will communicate once it will be out, not for now, with a smiley face. So, I mean, they're definitely going to come out with sword controller adapters. I don't think that's any kind of worry at all. They're just not ready to talk about it or put anything out there yet, but I'm sure it's coming soon. So
yeah. Oh yeah, it will. Yeah, I'm excited for that. I mean, I'll have to figure out because let's see which gun stock. I'm using the Evolution gun stock. So yeah, I should ask them and see what they're going to do. If they're planning on releasing anything too.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's
right.
Yeah. So what else we got to get into?
Or I'll have to go buy a ProTube, I guess.
And talking about the Reverb though, the launch is supposed to be on May 6th and it's $600. I just wanted to throw that in there.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's great. I mean, for that kind of visuals.
Yeah. I wish they would just update the controllers. I wish they would update the controllers and the tracking. Like, we need a Gen 2 Windows mixed reality headset. You know what I mean? Like, if they would do more of the tracking like Oculus is doing with the Rift S, put 5 cameras on it or so, cover some more volume of an area, and just update the controllers a little bit. Maybe go more of the index route. Like, it seems like maybe that's what, because with Pimax doing it and Index doing it, it seems like that's going to be more of the route where, you got the full
or
hand
open
tracking.
source too. Like, so where you can use just the controllers and the headset from somebody else, which actually, I mean, in truth, you can do that now
with Steam.
Yeah, because
it's possible
of how Steam
to
is.
run
I still wanted to try an Oculus headset with the Knuckles controller. I'm curious about that, and I think it's possible. It's just mass amounts of USB.
Fiddling. It's going to be a lot of fiddling, and
it is. It is. You're running both software and stuff, and be a mess. But I'm sure I can get it working. But
yeah. So another thing with Quest that people were worried about was the save files and stuff. Right. And they did come out with an article on Upload that it will have, so Quest and Go will have cloud saving, but this is something that has to be enabled by the developer. So it's still up to the developer of the game to put that into their game. Yep. And it should be, you should be able to move from headset to headset and stuff like that and have your save files accessed.
Which is nice.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, that's.
I mean, that's something they needed to do, and hopefully they roll that out like right away, and hopefully all the developers do it because we need that, because that way if you're logging in and out of accounts or you're wiping it clean which I think you might have to do. I don't know. It's kind of weird right now. We don't have tons of real solid
information. It'd just be like having an Xbox and logging in at a friend's house and accessing, your preferences and all that stuff. And that's how it should be. But.
So they said that Carmack didn't state whether this would be available on Quest launch on May 21st or in a future update. So,
right.
I mean, they got to get this thing out quick, I imagine. They need to. I don't know if they will, but they need to.
Yeah, they do. They need to push a bunch of stuff out. They really do. They're going to lose. They don't want them to lose traction, which I don't think they will, just because.
And they've had so much time. I mean, they've known about this Quest release forever. Like, all this stuff should be done already. You know what I mean?
Yeah. When did we initially hear about?
Well, I mean, it was just like her song said. It was called Santa Cruz back in the day. I mean, we've known about this headset for a really long time. I mean, years. You know what I mean? It's just they changed the name once they announced it. So they announced it was it Oculus Connect last year that they actually announced what it was going to be? I think it was.
Yeah, where they had like all 3 of them.
Yeah, where they actually announced the name.
With the Quest and the Rift,
they actually announced the new name and stuff. I think it was. I think it was that last year.
Yeah, somebody in the chat said that they do have the. Let's see, what did he say? The Rift and the Vive trackers. But yeah, you have to do some things. Yeah. I've heard of guys mix and matching even the Windows stuff too. So
that is something exciting about the Index too, is to add trackers. Like, I don't know what they're going to do with
outside tracking. I do like outside tracking. A lot of people, everyone wants internal, and I get it for something like the Quest, but for my office, you're not going to get better tracking than outside tracking.
I just meant like the pucks, the tracking pucks. We'll be able to use those.
For other objects.
But you're right, and on that subject with Oculus Rift S, I really think they need to go ahead and enable the old sensors to work with it, because that's a lot of people's gripe. And even with there's been some videos out already of using a gun stock with the Rift S, and there is some issues, which I didn't know if there would be. I was hoping there wouldn't be, but with your backhand, close to your headset, there are some issues. So if you go ahead and enable the old sensors, and so many people have them, you can still sell them, just still make them, sell them for $60, for people that didn't have a CV1.
And you wouldn't need 3. You could probably get by with 1 extra sensor, unless it was
depending
right
on where you put it,
Well, yeah. But, I mean, man... Or just 1 external wireless sensor or something.
Do something.
Somewhere.
I think they're worried about it because they don't want to complicate it. They don't want somebody to go buy a Rift S and be like, well, do I need these external sensors? Do I have to have these? Can I run them without this? I think they just want to keep it so simplified for new people that they don't want to confuse it. But they said in an interview that, they're not ruling it out that they're going to support it. Right. So I think if the Rift S comes out and enough people hammer them, like we need, these trackers, enable it, hopefully they will eventually. And I don't know why they wouldn't. It doesn't,
Right. I think so too. I mean, essentially you could use, your old touch controllers then, or, it's just more versatility.
Yeah.
Which Oculus doesn't push that. You know what I mean? Where Valve is. But.
Yeah. So Fantasy Film Production asked about a gun stock for the Oculus Quest. And technically any gun stock that works for CV1 touch controllers, it should work for the Rift S and the Quest, because the Rift S and Quest controllers are the same. They're a little bit thinner, I believe, so it depends how your cups are set up, but it should work. I know Mike from Virtual Reality Oasis was using a gun stock with the Rift S, and it was his old gun stock for touch. Right. So you should be, and we don't know what games we're going to get yet for Quest, so we don't know if there's going to be a first-person shooter. Well, we do, but we don't know any. I don't think there's been anything released for a two-handed weapon game model, like Pavlov. None of that. So, I mean, is there going to be a game?
What about Apex?
So Apex, I'm not sure. I don't think there's any two-handed weapons in that, though, where you're running where a gun stock would benefit you.
Yeah.
And I haven't played Apex. I'm going to buy it because I want to play it on Quest and Rift, so I am going to buy that game, but I don't know. So
I was going to look real quick and see what the because, man, I swore there was something. I mean, I knew there were some shooters, though, but yeah, maybe none with a gun stock.
Yeah, because you need a two-handed weapon model to really benefit.
Right. And I know some of the guys are, developing stuff right now that
I'm
will.
Sure.
And we are confirmed on that too. Some games that are coming out, which I know one on here was dropping. And I know he said he's working on the Quest, and I know that'll be two-handed guns.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's going to build in gun stock support for it, which I hope he does.
Oh yeah.
Really, for Jason,
everybody needs so I'm going to zoom this in. So this right here is the list of the games that are confirmed for Quest. And there's a bunch of them. I'm really excited for Apex Construct. I'm really excited for Creed. The Creed boxing game I think is going to be awesome. Dead and Buried 2 hopefully is really good.
Yep.
I mean, there's a ton of them that are really good.
Oh, yeah.
So First Contact, which that's a must. I'm so glad they put that on there. That is a must for showing people VR for the first time.
Yeah. I know. I was so excited when I saw that on there, too.
Yeah. So there's a bunch of good stuff. And also there's this Poker Stars VR. Are you a poker player at all?
I'm not.
I was going to say, I don't think we've ever played poker, but I don't know either. But I watch some of Greg's VR videos, and he does a lot of videos in this Poker Stars game. And it's super intriguing. I really want to get in there just to learn how to play. And I hope that they come out with more games. I'm a big Uno fan. I don't know if anybody plays Uno, but I love Uno. So I used to play it on Xbox. Don't laugh. I used to play it on Xbox where you could play Uno on the Xbox online, and it was awesome. I used to love that. So hopefully we get something like that in there, because this is the kind of stuff that will sell headsets to a broad audience, I think. I can see guys in their 60s, 50, 60 years old that just, or even older than that are retired, that love poker. Right. And they can't get out much. Maybe they're not real mobile, but you can sit down and you can play poker with people online.
Feel like you're there and have memories.
Yeah,
of it,
and you feel like you're with and you make friends online, and you feel like you're with your buddies playing poker.
How many guys do we know on here that we've never met in person?
Yeah, a lot of them.
Absolutely.
So I think it's great. That kind of stuff is a really good thing for Quest. I think it's not all just about the shooter games and the wild moving around games. That kind of game is going to be awesome on Quest, and I think it's on Go too, but it has, it's gonna benefit a lot from the two controllers, the 6 degree of freedom. It just makes it feel so much more real.
Yep, I agree.
And Robo Recall,
right. Oh, let's see, Taden from the chat was saying that there is a gun, or there are guns in Apex that are two-handed. So
okay,
yeah, that is confirmed.
Yeah, so I need to get that. I actually haven't played that yet.
Ultra Wings, that'll be cool.
I'm excited. That'll be fun. I played that on Go. I actually never played that on the Rift.
I'm really excited to get back into Super Hot. It's been probably 2 years since I played Super Hot.
I'm really excited to get back into Super Hot in a big enough area that I'm not risking breaking something, because you move around a lot in that game.
You can want to dive roll over and get down low.
Like,
and
that's a
stuff.
game you're going to need a big play area for, because
Yeah.
it can get super intense.
Same with Vader Immortal, too.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to need a big space for that. Could you imagine somebody just, knocking everything off the
Going
table?
crazy with a lightsaber?
Yeah. Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah, so, I mean, there's a lot of stuff to look forward to on this, in all reality.
One of the guys was saying that somebody was complaining about the quest tracking in Creed.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I heard that too. When you're blocking, is what I heard.
Well, yeah, you got your hands up close to your face.
Yeah, so it's an issue. I mean, I get it. I mean, it's drawbacks.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm sure once you play the game enough, you're going to learn tricks to where, you keep your arms maybe a little bit farther away when you're blocking. Right. I mean, it's hopefully something you can get used to, but I do agree it's going to be a learning curve, I'm sure, because it's not going to play just like it does on the CV1 with all the external trackers.
I just don't get why they don't open up the sensors for the Rift S, because a Rift S, you're wired. You're not going anywhere with it unless you have a laptop and you set it up somewhere, and that's fine, and then don't run an extra sensor. But if you're set up somewhere and people already have those or want to purchase one for $60 or whatever, there you go.
Yeah,
Problem solved.
The only reason I can think of is just simplified. They just want to simplify it. So
Uno VR. Oh, man.
Dude, I'm telling you, did somebody say that? Yes.
Yes, they did.
Yes, that is what I want. I'm telling you, I used to play that. Like, that was back when some of my family still lived 500 miles away, and me and my sister, she would get on the Xbox, and we would play Uno together. And I mean, it was a lot of fun. It was a ton of fun. I love Uno, so that's what I want. If I have one request, somebody please make an Uno VR game for Go, Quest, Rift, Steam, all of it. Cross-play between everybody.
So my dream, I was thinking about this the other night, I was watching Pengi's video. So I think Index should join up with her, and they should build a guitar game for the Knuckles controllers, because you can actually use all your fingers. So you could actually chord stuff on a guitar.
Yeah, I never thought about that.
That would be crazy. They thought rock, paper, scissors. Well, the first thing I thought of is I could actually pick with that. You know what I mean?
It's kind of like Guitar Hero would have been. Like, you're not, you can't move your fingers like up and down and stuff to play chords, but you can do like a Guitar Hero kind of.
It's all on or off anyways.
Yeah, and Guitar Hero was a blast. We used to love that Guitar Hero and Rock Band. So before we get too far, I do want to. We need to talk about this new game trailer footage we got here. So you ready for this? So this is called...
This is a game that's under development right now.
Yeah.
So it's not out. He does have a Steam page up now, and I think I threw it in the description down below, so maybe some of you caught that. But yeah, this is coming out. Let's see. I forget. I think I told you.
I think he said this month, right? The version 1, maybe.
Yeah, late month. So yeah, he is going to release it, and then there will be. It sounds like he's working on some pretty good updates for it as well.
One of those multiplayer he talked about?
Yeah, talked about doing, multiplayer co-op.
Which I love. I
agree. It's just more immersion, more everything.
Yeah, I like to enjoy it with somebody else. Like, I like to...
Yeah, he said after, a couple months he would have a pretty good update too then on it.
So let's go ahead and play this footage. We can kind of talk about it too while it's playing.
Yeah.
So this is it's called Combat Helicopter VR.
Yep.
And is he in chat? Is the developer in chat?
I don't know. I'm not sure if he was going to be able to make it or not. But I'm sure he'll hit us up.
So this shows kind of the rockets. And
but where this has come in such a short time too, from what he's shown us, even a couple weeks ago, is just immense. How far he's come. I know he's got vehicles even down below. Movement vehicles, destruction with.
This is what I love.
Looks to be like everything. I know.
I love the destructible environments where you can shoot stuff and stuff actually comes down, and that's really cool.
Yep. So how he's designed it is initially it's going to come out as single player, and it's going to have missions. So you actually play through it, but it is going to be open world. So it sounds more like he's going to have like objectives and stuff inside of that, which I love. I love open world. I think it's a great thing.
Yeah, for sure.
It just gives you the freedom. I mean, you don't have to do anything if you don't want to.
Right.
But like the hits on that and everything, it does. It looks really good. The destruction, it's awesome.
I'm excited about this. This looks really cool.
I know. I so want to get in it with you, so we can just cruise around. Oh man,
and just blow stuff up.
Yep.
That's pretty fun to do.
I know. So then to see that in VR is, if you were right beside that in a helicopter,
it's falling
looking
down.
at that, oh my gosh, that'd be huge. Yeah.
For sure, that's pretty awesome.
He's introducing all the touch controls and everything to it. And I know he's working on the stick controls, and right now at the moment I know he's got the analog sticks, but he is implementing or just trying to implement full touch controls. But even to the point where you can like throw grenades out the side of the helicopter down onto stuff. I mean, that would be awesome. That's what he said. So that would be really cool if he gets that, working really good.
Yeah, definitely. So and this is coming out. This is coming out on the Steam store, right? So this is going to be, you'll have it for Oculus Rift, for HTC Vive, Windows MR, like all the headsets should work with this. So did he mention anything about a Quest port? I don't think he did at this point.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's even something in the works, but it seems like almost everybody should shoot for the Quest nowadays because of how big it might be.
Oh yeah, Harsh is in here. Hey Harsh.
Nice.
Yeah.
So the developer is in here. That's what was his name?
Harsh Bakshi.
Yeah, so that is the developer. So if you do want to ask some questions and stuff about the game, he is in here, so he should be able to answer some of the questions. But
after this too, I'm going to post a link to his website for his other stuff too down there.
Yeah, so we're going to add some links after the show's over, but I just love these environments. Awesome. I just love how this stuff falls and blows up. And this is still early. Like, this isn't the finished product either. So, I mean, and it's already looking really good.
No, he was kind enough just to give us, some gameplay, demo and stuff.
So this is the first anybody's seeing this footage right here. This is the first time anybody's seeing this, so.
Yeah, it does. It looks really cool. I just like anything with destruction and I just...
And you're a big flight guy anyways. Like, you like the flight stuff. I'm not as good at it, but I still really like it. But it's more challenging for me. It takes some more practice.
He's adding the HOTAS to it too, which for a game like this really hasn't... I can't say it's really been done too much. I know there was that one, what is that, VTOL or whatever? I think they did. I'm not sure on that.
Yeah. So this is some pictures of it too. There's just some screenshots.
Yeah.
Of the game.
Yeah, it does look really good. Man.
So that's like from up on a crane. We got some turrets. So I'm guessing
even the lighting. He's even got, shadowing and everything looks really good.
And there's a night mode. So this is some of the turrets. I'm guessing these are going to be shooting at you that you got to return fire.
He does, yeah. There are turrets in it. I'm going to look real quick here and see.
Oh man, I'm running low on coffee.
Oh, geez.
Mayday.
That's why I brought a thermos today.
I know I need to do that. I need to get a thermos actually.
No, a little more prepared today.
Yeah, so I'm going to show you. This is a night mode shot. So this is some of the night
that's
footage.
Awesome.
So that'll be fun too, just flying around at nighttime.
To see the lights like out in the distance, like flying a helicopter. It's just, like X-Plane, when you're flying into an airport and you can see it in the distance.
Yeah.
So
and I love the fact about how you were talking about you could drop grenades out the window of the helicopter with your controllers. That's awesome. Like, that's something I haven't been able, I mean, this...
Right. Any flight sim, anything like that, you're strapped in, and then that's it,
So to anything that adds to,
Oh, so good.
It's pretty awesome.
Oh, it is.
He needs to make like a GTA mode where it's just everybody trying to blow each other up and you're dropping grenades on people out of the helicopter.
GTA just needs to make a GTA mode.
Well, yeah, that's a good point. we won't go there. That's a sore subject that hopefully we get someday.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, he said he has keyboard, mouse, and gamepad supported as well. So he's gonna it'll be available to any style of play that somebody likes, which is awesome. I mean, that really helps because some guys like to play this stuff as Sims, and they want to sit down and do it.
Well, sometimes it's just nice to cruise. You know what I mean? Like even if you're not blowing stuff up, when you're flying around in VR, it's kind of just cool to see the scenes, like see what all of the map you haven't seen. Like, can you fly under these things without crashing? Like how do some tricks. Like it's just cool to just cruise around. So I think that's another aspect.
Yeah, he said he's even got like VR like chase missions where you you're chasing somebody and trying to catch them and stuff. And I mean, VR, that's just so good when you're up close like that.
Yeah, that would be sweet actually. I love that. So we'll definitely have to get some footage of this game out. And we do have some game footage coming out next week, hopefully, that we don't want to talk about yet, but we're really excited to show it off. So we're going to hopefully have a video out of that next week, and we're going to talk about it some in the next week's episode of Coffee and VR, and hopefully get that dev in too. I'm really excited about this one. So
there's just so many good guys working on like solid games, and a lot of guys are doing stuff on their own now too because they see it's a new frontier, so they're bringing their expertise from flat games and then learning VR. It is a learning curve, absolutely. I mean, it is, but I think the best thing we can tell them is just to use VR to its best potential, interactions and stuff close and far, and give that depth perception.
Yeah,
but
and it's still such a new medium too. Everybody's still learning the tricks, you know what I mean? But for me, what I like is when people push the envelope. Let me do something in VR that I can't do in real life. You know what I mean? Like
I can't throw grenades out of a helicopter. Like that's what I want to do.
Yeah, I mean, not without some serious repercussion, but you know what I mean. But that's it. That's exactly it. Like I like being able to be in a game and I'm able to jump 30 feet in the air, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, and that's not going to be for everybody until everybody gets their full legs, you know, in VR. But I love it. Like, just that feeling is just like I want to push the envelope. I want to do stuff in VR I can't do in real life. You know what I mean? Because in real life I can do some of that other stuff. You know.
And I think a lot of that, you know, for us first getting to VR, I think a lot of that's going to go away just because of the higher refresh rates, the better images, you know, screens we have.
Sickness?
Yeah, all of it. Because once it's that real world interaction, your hands are, you know, in real time.
Yeah, and people get used to it. I mean, it doesn't take that long until you get used to it. And even supposedly when, you know, like the 3D modeling gaming came out, like just on a screen, not truly 3D, but people had issues with that right at first. There was people that would make them sick. You know what I mean?
Funny story. When we set a couple rigs up down at your place the one time. Somebody was over and we were showing people, and he said, "I get sick playing anything, Call of Duty, whatever." And I'm like,
even on a screen. He's just talking about on a regular
flat screen. Gaming console, whatever. He's like, "I can't play games; they make me nauseous." I'm like, "Just try it; it's different." So if you're first time VR, this is for you. So he puts it on, and he was in it for half hour, 45 minutes, and he said it's amazing because it's real life. Like it's not like pushing a stick and it's moving a screen. You know, it doesn't make you nauseous like that. So,
but he wasn't. Was he actually doing anything where he had free locomotion? Probably not. I think you tried to keep him in some stuff that was a little. I don't think he did free locomotion. But even just, he was scared to just go in and try it.
He probably did first contact.
Yeah, but that's not movement.
It's not
though.
walking.
You can actually move around your physical space, so that helps. But I mean, he thought just putting the headset on was going to make him sick. So it was good to squash that. You know what I mean? And he loved it. He was blown away.
That's kind of proof of point, though. You know, everyone can be afraid, or it makes them nauseous at first. Just go past it, go through it.
Yeah,
it's just like anything else. You know,
a little bit at a time, till you're past it. And eventually, it's not going to bother you at all. So I mean, that's just one of those stereotype things about VR that people need to get over. Like you're eventually going to be fine. You might have a little bit of an issue right at first if it's something and don't go into it trying to play Pavlov with free locomotion. You know what I mean? Go into it and play the games that you're not moving around a whole bunch and get yourself used to it, and then just keep progressing. I mean, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, I mean, like combat helicopter. Like if you can flip a helicopter upside down, that make my stomach.
Yeah, if you can do that, you can you're pretty much good to go.
Exactly. So you just got to start small. Like with that, you know, sitting in a helicopter, looking around, you know, you just don't go, you know, all in. That'll ruin it for you.
Yeah.
And everyone wants to. Everyone wants to play that crazy mission where you're flying through tunnels or something. Yeah. It's like, you know,
and you'll get there. You just can't maybe do it right off the bat. But
baby steps.
And eventually it's going to be a non-issue. Eventually everybody's going to be so used to this kind of stuff that it's not going to affect anybody anymore. So. Sure. And like you said, as the refresh rates go up, as the technology improves, it's going to get better anyway. So.
It does. Yeah, finger, hand tracking, all of it.
So we covered quite a bit of stuff already. One thing that I was curious about, and I was thinking about this the other day, was the fact that with these quests coming out, and the quest is going to be a really big, hot item, I think. Sure. And so we're going to be getting a lot of devs working on quest games. So my thought was...
They already are.
So are we going to be having devs building quest games specifically for quest and kind of not focusing as much on PC VR, or is it going to be the opposite? We're going to be getting more devs working on PC VR and then porting it to quest. You know what I mean? Is this dynamic about to change when this comes out?
Yeah, well, that's a good point. That's a good point to bring up. I think they're going to be two different beasts. I think it's going to be dependent on what you're doing and what you're developing for. So I think anything that has full interaction, really good high-res graphics, you're not going to go quest because that's not going to happen.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it's a good point. It is. I mean,
I was just thinking the money aspect. Like
the money, I know.
There's tons and tons of quests. Right? Is it going to pull more people towards quest and not do the PC VR as much?
Sure, Bill. It'd be dumb to think not.
Yeah,
but,
and so that'll be a little disappointing. But I don't think PC VR is going anywhere, especially with the Index coming out. There's a lot of hype right now.
It's limited, so your development's limited in what you can do. So it just depends on what route you want to take. You know,
I really think Quest is going to help.
Go ahead.
I really think Quest is going to help the PC VR market in the long run because it's going to be a lot of people's first headsets, and then they're going to eventually want that next level. You know, what I mean, they're going to want that next level of gameplay, and they're going to get a PC VR.
Well, even people with PCVR, I think, are going to go to Quest because it's
so
the
are we.
freedom.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the freedom of it. I mean, could you imagine, like, everyone that has a PCVR, PSVR, wants to show everybody? Well, they have to come over to do that. So now you can take it to anybody's house. You can roll with it. I already bought the case for it.
Oh, yeah.
So, throw it in, ready to go. I mean, it's great. I think it's a good thing, and it's going to be game changer, and not in like high end game change, but in gameplay.
So this is the case. What would this cost? $39 or something?
Yeah, $40 I think I got. Yeah.
So this is pretty cool actually. The way it straps the controllers and stuff in, and hopefully they don't move around or anything. And what I used for my Go before was I bought one of them like cheap knockoff versions of like the Pelican hard case, and I did the cutouts for the headset and the one controller and all that stuff. So I thought about doing that for the Quest, but it is a bigger, bulkier box where this really does look pretty streamlined and
as compact as it can be. I mean, anything that comes from the company who makes it is going to be the nicest. It's going to feel high end, look nice. So I mean, it's definitely the way to go. I mean, that's how all my DJI stuff, I buy all their stuff. It just works good, fits good, it'd be the tightest it can be.
And hopefully we get one thing I'm worried about is
it's cheap.
One of the things I'm worried about is the battery life. So hopefully, I know with the Go and stuff, people have made stuff like with the 3D prints where you can strap a battery pack on. You know what I mean? So hopefully we get that kind of stuff. Because with the Quest, it's going to really stink if it dies in an hour and a half of playing games and you're at a party and everybody wants to play. Like, there's going to have to be some kind of way. And they said that you can play this plugged in. You can. So you can charge and play it. But, I mean, nobody wants to be hooked up to a wall outlet. You know what I mean?
But you can't. But, not a wall outlet. But, like, I have a 10,000 mil battery I could throw in my back pocket and plug it in. That's fine and dandy, but the charge rate of that can't keep up to keep it alive. So if that goes dead, you can't plug it in and then probably keep playing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
No. You would never be able to.
As long as it doesn't go dead, though, you should be able to keep going. You don't think so?
Nope. Not at all.
I feel like people were doing it with the Go, though.
I think I've done it with the Go where it died and I plugged it in and it wouldn't play with it. I'm pretty sure. I don't think the charge rate was fast enough on a wireless, maybe on a wired, but like one that's a battery pack, unless you had that high of a charge rate on.
And I'm sure if they're not out now, they will be coming out. But I think some people have done it before and had some success. I've had issues with the Go, though, that I would try to like watch a movie or something in there, and the batteries would go low, so I would try to plug it in, and the problems I had is that it would overheat. So when it was charging, the thing would overheat and shut off. It wouldn't keep playing. So the one good thing about Quest is it does have some better cooling capabilities where, there's no active cooling at all in the Go. So hopefully the Quest will, be able to go a little longer with charging it or whatever we're going to do,
It just helps the battery even in general. The internal battery, it helps.
Yeah, so hopefully that'll even make it last a little longer if they can keep it cooler.
It's still, I think they're saying, 2 to 3 hours, I'm pretty sure on that.
I've heard so many. I heard 4 hours at one point in time from people playing at the one of the conferences, and they said, I was going 4 hours, and now that it's starting to come out, I haven't heard that. I've heard like an hour and a half of like full gameplay. I've heard 2 hours. I mean, I've heard everything. So
it's going to be, but there's two critical factors. One is going to be how demanding the game is,
right?
And two, it'll be on the brightness of the screen. I mean, that's almost a lot of it is brightness. So I mean, it'll just depends.
We'll see. Yeah. So hopefully there'll definitely be some solutions though.
I wish they made. I have a DJI makes a pocket gimbal, and they actually have a case which I debated getting. It's actually a battery pack built into it, and it's a case for it. So whenever you put the camera back in the case, it's always charging. So I wish they had a case like this.
And maybe they will. I mean, if this thing sells as good as we're anticipating, there's going to be a lot of third-party stuff trying to cash in. They're going to be making everything imaginable for it. You know what I mean? Sure.
They will.
So, and that's good because I like accessories and add-ons and anything to make it better.
Yeah. The one guy was saying that the USB-C charges faster than it drains. It does. I mean, USB has the potential to, but a lot of like the battery packs don't have a high charging rate. They're pretty low amp. They're not fast like plugging into a wall charger. I think some of them go up to like 10 amps and stuff. So
I'm sure there are some though, and if they're not, I'm sure they're coming out. That'll be.
There probably are some. There's probably some out there.
So this is another picture of the case with it out of the case.
Yep. Which that actually shows a different color on the inside of the case. So I'm sure this was an early set. The thing that intrigued me about this is that I love that there's built-in storage.
Oh,
this.
under the controller thing?
Correct.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that. No, actually.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's hardly brought that up. But, so if you want to run those earbuds or something, put them in there. Put your cable in there.
Right.
I think that's great. But I would love to put a battery pack in there.
Mm-hmm.
That's my dream.
Yeah.
Maybe poke a hole in the side of that, plug it in while it's in the case,
Yeah, that's a good idea. Definitely. So there's also this, you were showing me this, how it shows the faceplate.
Yeah. Yep, it does show an optional faceplate. Maybe not optional, but as a replacement, because it does say on this replacement.
And I'm sure we're going to get some stuff from VR Cover. I mean, if you guys have been into VR for a while, everybody knows VR Cover. And they have that leather kind of feeling faceplate, and it's so good. Like, I can't go back after playing that with that for a long time. Like, it's a really good feeling on your face, and you just play for a long time. So I can't wait until... I mean, it's going to be hard to get day one all this stuff and probably not have the VR Cover stuff yet.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to want it. And I don't know... even with the Index, I haven't heard a lot of people talk about the comfort. Like, how is the weight distribution? How is the comfort? Like, this is all going to be stuff that, could make or break it, too. Like, we don't know.
Sure.
At least with Index.
Yeah. No, Anthony was talking about it on his show on VR 365. And if you guys haven't checked that out, make sure you get over there.
Yeah.
But he was saying he likes the foam.
On the Rift S, yeah.
Yeah. Well, on his Rift, he runs the foam, not... He has the replaceable.
Something about it soaking up the sweat, right?
Yeah. So see, I think you have the same one I do. It's more the pleather type one.
Right.
I love that.
Me too.
It's thinner, so you actually do gain a wider field of view from it, which I think's great.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like it just because I do sweat when we're going hard. I mean, it's an issue. I sweat. So
I'm not a huge sweater, but I still do. Like when I was doing playing that Ninja Legends game. I was sweating like crazy in that. It was pretty hot in the room first of all, and then I was moving all around, and I was getting. Yeah. But I mean, it's I don't know. It's just a comfortable thing to wear on your face for a long time. The other one, like the foam that was the original, it kind of made my face a little bit itchy and stuff after a while. Like it just wasn't comfortable. Like it wasn't like having something enjoyable
I always felt
on your
like
face.
Hairs trapped in it too. Like
they did. They did. Yeah.
I don't know. It always made me itch like on my nose. Yeah, I didn't. Yeah. It's good. Don't get me wrong, but that's why I really like the look of the Index, how they have that fabricy, more like padded fabric. I do like that. I think that's going to be interesting. But so
we'll see.
It'd be cool to see. And we got 42 people in here right now.
That's
Man,
awesome.
That's awesome, guys. Yeah, appreciate that.
Definitely glad you guys joined us. We just love doing these. Like I mean, we were talking about it earlier. We were just looking forward to this because we just love we love VR. We love talking about it. Like, I mean, it's just exciting. We love, the people join in and chat, and it's just fun. It's just a good time. Yep. As much as we love to play, we love to talk about it too.
I know, and sadly, we don't even play as much anymore because we're always like testing new games and products and stuff like that. So it takes us away a little bit from the enjoyment.
And if anybody does want to send us anything, we have a contact email in our page description. So if you ever want to contact us, that's a great way to get a hold of us through that email link.
Yeah, I know when all the new headsets drop here, though, if we go off the radar, I'm sorry, because I'm probably locked in my office.
Yeah, for real.
Go on here. No.
Yeah.
We'll throw some stuff out right away. Be sure to watch. Yeah. Make sure you subscribe, because we will drop stuff the instant we have it. I may even do, I don't know, we could do a live stream.
Well, we might. Maybe we should. Maybe we should. I don't know. At least just talk about it and show it. Maybe instead of doing some video stuff, we'll just do it live and show some stuff. And
sure, I know, because people are going to have questions. They're going to want to see, how this works, how that works, and everyone worries about different stuff.
Especially the people that didn't get the Index pre-order right away, and those people might have to wait a little bit longer. So I think Anthony on VR 365, I don't think he got his pre-order in for the Index that one right away. So
right, yeah. Yeah, I'm excited to see the Quest, though, too. I am. I'm really excited.
I'm super excited.
Which surprises me, because I thought I was more excited for the Rift S because I wanted an upgrade from the Rift.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, I don't know. It kind of changed on me. And I love what Valve's doing, though, man. It's great.
Yeah, I'm excited about all of it. Like, I mean, it's hard to be any more excited for one thing or the other. Like, they all shine in their own way, and I'm just excited in general. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So I mean, the only thing that I'm disappointed about is that we don't have the Quest and the Rift S yet. I still cannot believe that they did not release that on the 30th or the 1st. Like, it blew my mind when he got up there and he said pre-orders are available. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, I thought for sure it was going to go like it did the Go last year. It was going to go like it did the Go. I mean,
they would have done better too, because everyone that was waiting on F8 for that to happen would have went out and bought it that minute.
Oh,
now,
everybody was ready.
Everybody stopped because now they put orders in on the index.
Yeah.
They lost so much business from that. I mean, that's sad. But
and at the same sense, they might have gained a little bit of business because there was a lot of people that were sitting on the fence and they didn't want to buy.
Sure.
I mean, at least for the Rift S, they didn't want to buy anything until they found out what the index was going to be. And once they saw that $1,000 price tag, it was shocking. Like, I saw that and I was like, oh my goodness, like, that's a lot of money. I really thought it was going to come in around $700-800 maybe as a bundle for everything, and I was hoping a little bit less. I was hoping like a $599 to really put some competition. I didn't know if they were going to do that, and I can kind of understand too because they still have a partnership with HTC, and they don't want to completely undercut them either. And because I mean, if they sold the index for $500-600 for the full bundle, nobody's going to be buying a Vive. I mean, it's going to take away a lot of their sales, and it would really hurt them if they want to keep that partnership at all.
I know. I mean, the controllers, I think, I don't know, they're a little pricey, I think, for what they are.
Yeah.
Just because they don't come with the sensors. I feel at that price, they probably should have come with the sensors.
The Lighthouse?
Yeah. Just, I don't know, where Touch was at $199, and they
came with the sensor.
They sensed one sensor,
right. Yeah,
and two controllers. And we even thought that was, at the time, like, man, I can't believe it, but I want it, you know?
Yeah.
And now we're dropping that for just the controllers. You know, I get it, but...
So it's
there. The market's there. So.
Let's bask in our misery here for a second and watch the Quest announcement at F8, because I noticed like when Zuckerberg came out and he said, so today we're announcing pre-orders, and like he thought he was going to get some applause, and he kind of paused after that, and it was just silence. So then he kept going, and then he got the applause at the end, but nobody applauded because everybody was anticipating him saying it's released now. So I'm going to play this real quick.
I know, it's so sad. I mean, it's...
And of course we're launching Oculus Quest, the all-in-one headset that we've all been waiting for, with no cables and full freedom of movement.
So they get some cheers at that, you know, no cables, freedom of movement.
You know, these are a real step forward. Our Rift S is the most powerful VR headset that you can buy. And Quest just blows people away because it's the first time that you can just walk around a VR space and fully interact with the people in it. So I'm excited to announce that we are opening pre-orders for both of them today. They're each going to be $399.
So he paused there. Nobody cheered.
Shipping within a month on May 21st.
So he got some cheers once he said, you know, shipping on May 21st, but it was like...
Yeah.
It was just a huge disappointment. And I kind of anticipated that happening because of all the leaks of the May 21st date that we were seeing. And I called, so that morning I called 2 Best Buys. I went the night before, I went to 2 Best Buys. And I checked to see if there was anything because we were getting pictures of the displays that were showing up at some stores. I was like, oh man, it's coming. This is it. You know what I mean?
We thought, oh, it's coming for sure.
Yeah.
And then that night, I think late, Microsoft dropped that page and said reserve and release on 21st.
Yeah.
And then they pulled it down.
Yeah,
so,
and everybody was like, oh, what is this? And everybody's like, well, maybe it's a placeholder date. Maybe it's not the actual date. We didn't know. But I went to both Best Buys, and there was nothing in either one. And I was like, oh, man, this isn't right. This doesn't feel right, you know? So the next day, like the next morning, like they opened at 10 a.m. We're East Coast. So I called 2 of them right away, and I asked them, I said, oh, did you guys get in your shipment yet of the Quest and the Rift S? And they're like, oh, let me check. So they took a minute or whatever, and they came back, and both places I called said, no, we don't have anything like that. And I said, well, do you know when they're supposed to show up? And they said, no, we don't know anything about it. I was like, man, such a bummer. And I even called Walmart. I called 2 Walmarts, too, just to see if maybe Walmart would have it, and they didn't have anything.
I know. You even took the day off, I think, didn't you?
No, I didn't take the day off. I went to work, but I was hoping to get out. I mean, if it would have launched, you know, I was hoping to get out early and just go. And I had a Best Buy right by my work, so as soon as it launched and I knew it was going to be there, I was just going to go run down and grab one just to be sure I got it and then come back. But
I know.
Yeah.
Cheetah was saying they applauded when they gave everybody a free Quest.
Oh, yeah.
I know. We talked about that on our last show, too. Remember how the Go, they did that?
They did that with Go,
debated that, too. I know. Yeah, I didn't know if they would or not.
I didn't think they would because of the price point. But I mean, Facebook's got plenty of money. I mean, it's not like they're short on money, but still, I mean, how many of those do you think they gave away? I don't know how many people were at F8, but $400 a piece. I'm sure it's the $400 one, probably not the $500 one,
sure.
But still, I mean, that many of them, that's a huge hit. But it does help because that every single one of those people that have one, you know, that's going to be that many more people to play with online and multiplayers and.
Paradise's K just said, yeah, they paid $600 to be there. It wasn't free.
Yeah, that's true. That is probably true. So they were all paid for. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, that's probably true. I didn't think about that.
That's true. And those headsets, you got to think, probably cost them what, $75 to $100 to produce, probably material.
Yeah, I don't know. Probably more than that, maybe. But
come on, they have to be making like 400% on that.
You think so? Yeah, I know with like CV1, they didn't really make a lot of money supposedly back in the day.
This is mainstream though now.
Yeah, I don't know.
The tech they're using isn't new.
Yeah, the 835, Snapdragon 835 has been out for a long time, so it's not like
they're
that's
probably buying that for $5 or $10 a piece.
Snapdragon's probably just glad somebody still wants to buy it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like nobody.
I think I have that in like my smartwatch.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think I do. Actually, it's an 820. I think. But.
Oh yeah. So yeah, you might be right. I'm sure they're I don't know what the cost of all of it is, but I'm sure it's not. I'm sure they're making money off of this headset.
Oh yeah. Somebody was saying that in the boxing they show different face masks, but I actually it's funny because I buy a lot of stuff, I research a lot. I knew I was getting the Quest. I actually have not watched one unboxing or anything of the Quest because I want that experience to be mine. Yeah. I don't want to see that. Everyone now wants to know what's this. Yeah. It's like, you know what? I know I want it. I don't want to see it. I want that experience for myself, especially for what we do and stuff. That's all takes.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting to get it. And I haven't watched any of the unboxing. I've watched a little bit of the videos. Like I watched a little bit of the casting to your phone and all that stuff. And I don't know. I want hands on. I want to get it. Like I want it to be the 21st, and I want it to show up, and I want it to.
Me too. They don't just throw it in a cardboard box for a reason. It's all about presentation and stuff now, and I want to see that. That's all part of what I'm buying.
And the external of the boxes that I've seen do look pretty nice. They
really
look
do.
Like they're packaged, in nice, colorful packaging and.
Yeah. Someone said they got the Rift S early. Yeah, I think that was probably that Walmart.
I think that was the Quest. They were shipping out the Quest early. Yeah, okay. And supposedly people were getting them, but they couldn't get logged in and actually do anything with it. So like the software, they were locked out of the software. You know what I mean? But they had the headset, which I even wish that would have happened to us. I would have been okay with that if I can hold it and look at it. Even if I can't play it yet, at least I have it.
Yep, set it on display.
Yeah.
Paradise Decay thinks that they're selling it for about cost.
Yeah.
That wasn't Paradise Decay. That was Gaming. Gaming Science said that. But I don't know. I know they're pushing it out there to be low cost, and I know they're making money software side. So, they may be pushing that boundary, but the stuff they're using, you have it in R&D, so I do understand that. You
have one single LCD panel. Or no, those are never mind. The Quest is the OLED panel. That's the Rift S. So you might have a little more cost than that though, because like the Rift S panel is pretty much the same panel they used in Go. So, they bought so many of those already that I'm sure those are cheaper than what these OLED panels are in the Quest, I would think.
These people on that end, they're not paying that much for these things. Everyone, thinks that, for us to try and go out and buy those panels might cost us $100 if we wanted to buy a bare panel for it. But for them, they're buying thousands of them.
Yeah.
You're buying them for
tens
pennies
of
on
thousands,
the
if not hundreds of
thousands.
thousands.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Yeah.
So that's a whole different game, and I'm sure anybody in production and stuff knows that. But
Paradise Decay said the app will go live on launch day, which I'm sure that's what's going to happen. Sure. But some of the YouTube guys do have some already, and
they have the dev kits for the SDKs.
Yeah, so there's some kind of. So that's probably not that's not the actual software, but it's a version of it or something that's unlocked just for them. But
absolutely, yeah, just the ones that run all the tests and the F8 and everything too.
Yeah, so gaming science teacher, she said, I saw a snippet of the new first steps tutorial, and now I feel spoiled.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I don't know if she means that it spoiled the experience a little bit. Like that's like what we were talking about.
Right. I just don't want
for me.
I just don't want to ruin that. Everyone nowadays wants to be in the know, and I totally understand that, but it's just different.
So Hussein X said that somebody did get the Rift S early too. He said it was on Reddit, and he said he didn't tell which store did it, which probably for the best for that store, But that's cool. So I wonder if that one works. That one should work because that was already in the software.
The software's already in.
You could already select that, and at least if you were on the test channel. I don't know about the regular, but
I know we have it. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. So somebody asked, how long do you think it'll be until Quest 2 is announced? And I think it's going to be a while. They're going to try to stretch this out for at least. You think so? You think that early? Maybe. I don't know. It's hard because this technology is advancing so fast, but I feel like they're going to try to get more out of it than just a year. I would say maybe 2 years. I mean, they might announce it, but I don't know, because once you announce it, then nobody's going to want to buy the original Quest anymore. They're going to want the next one. So it's like, well, I'm not going to buy a Quest yet. I want Quest 2. You know what I mean? I don't know. I think they're going to try to stretch it out as long as they can. I think the next thing they're going to do, in my opinion,
rendering on a Rift.
The next big thing from Oculus, I think, is going to be more towards the CV2. I think that hopefully that's going to, because I mean, they already have some of the technology they showed us with Half Dome, you know, and it had a lot more tech than some of the other stuff. You know, it had the display that actually moved in and out.
I know. Yeah, that's so, I know. I want that now.
Yeah, I think that is what we're going to see next from Oculus, I believe. I mean, that's what I feel, at least, and who knows for sure. I don't know, but I mean, it's a hard space right now because there's a lot of competition. You know, the technology is advancing pretty quickly. So,
I know,
like you said earlier, as soon as one of these products ship and you get it, it's already outdated in a sense. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's just like a PC. Like PCs usually, you know, move along pretty quickly.
Well, I want to know where all these guys that left Oculus, what are they doing now? What are they working on? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
they have to have that intel, and obviously they have like a do not compete clause and stuff, I'm sure. Right. So that's why they've probably gone silent. But yeah, I don't. Hopefully, it's not like a 2-year thing. I hope not.
Yeah, I don't know.
But it could be. But I mean, man, they have to be on the front edge of all this because look how long they've been working on it, and they left for a reason because Oculus wasn't pushing forward.
Yeah. So, and I feel like a Quest 2 could be a pretty serious machine because they already have the 855 Snapdragon, which is, you know, quite a bit ahead of the 835. So if you wait another year to see what comes out next, but they're probably still going to be using older tech. So the next one we might be an 855 Snapdragon chip. You know
what do we have? I forget. What do we have on our phones now?
It's 855, I believe, and that's 10.
These things, and they're running these at 12 gigs and stuff now, RAM, which, I mean, come on, that's incredible. They should be putting that in freaking VR. I mean,
and they will. I mean, it's going to go there, but
I know. But I'm ready to just tear this thing apart and build a VR headset with it. I mean, all the tech's there, and I get you're paying, you know, $1,000 or so for a phone, but man, to put that in an all-in-one Quest, I'd pay that for a Quest that was at that level. You know,
that'd be sweet. I mean, so maybe a Quest with a bigger field of view, higher res panels, and it's going to be hard, though. Yeah, it's going to be hard to push all that, though. Because, I mean, we're having trouble pushing that on a PC. You know, the increase in the field of view and higher res panels. Even a PC is struggling with that, so I don't know.
Yeah, but, I mean, these phones are pushing 4K displays.
Yeah, but it's not doubling it.
I know it's not doubling it. I understand that. I know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, I can't wait. So I think T-Dub asked if we were going to see a Quest 2 or a Rift 2 next. And I think Rift 2. I don't know what you think. Are you thinking Quest 2?
No.
You think Rift 2?
Yeah.
That's what I think. That's what I feel.
I think Quest is in for the long haul. I think Quest is going to be a mainstream. I think they're going to drop the price down to like $300 at some point, and then they're going to run that for a solid.
Yeah, that's what they're going to do. Easy. Yeah, they're going to discount it and try to sell even more.
They'll probably have a $50 price break around Christmas.
Oh yeah, like do a sale.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I can see that.
And then maybe next time drop the price. You know, maybe around F8. You know, then.
And I mean, I think if Oculus, you know, there's been some rumors that they're trying to get out of the PC VR market, and I think that, you know, if they don't want to get out of the PC VR market, they need to do something. They need to show the next gen relatively soon because there's so much competition coming out in that area. They need to stay relevant, you know, in the future. Yeah. So I think they're going to have to do something, or maybe they just really are trying to get away from the PC VR. Maybe they really are going to focus on the Quest, but I don't think that's what we're really seeing right now with some of these games like Stormlands and Defector, and also when are we going to get some of these things? They didn't say anything about that.
See those games though, right? They didn't. I'm surprised about that. But see, they backed those games a long time ago.
That's true. Yeah,
when they thought they were going forward with PC VR. So
so it's hard to say.
That's changing, right?
Yeah, it's hard to say. And hopefully, when on the 21st, when we get the Rift S, hopefully we get an announcement of at least one of those big titles. And on that note, so we did get from Valve that they're saying one of their flagship games is coming out, built for VR later this year. Now, hopefully that doesn't get pushed back at all, but that could be epic. You know what I mean? That could be huge if we get a big name game from Valve come out this year. Portal, Half-Life.
I want some Portal.
Yeah, that would be sweet.
Oh, man. Portal still is one of my favorite games. I could go back and play that through just to get to that freaking cake. Like, I just, so good.
It is good.
I want it. I know. Yeah, I'm probably wrong about all the lead dates. I mean, I'm probably, you know, hopeful. Now it seems like everyone drags their feet on releases. I mean, whether it be Microsoft or PlayStation or, you know, whoever.
Yeah, they do, and it's annoying. I thought it was super annoying that Oculus didn't give us any kind of date until F8 when we were all expecting it. Like, I wish they would just tell us earlier so we can, have an idea of what we need to wait for and save for or whatever,
Yeah.
I don't like their date system, but...
To me, I feel like Samsung could be the one company that could drop something big.
Yeah, I mean, they've already, been making improvements on their Odyssey. They had their... refresh of the Odyssey with that screen door technology and stuff. And we also have LG. LG has supposedly been working on a headset for a while now that they've went kind of quiet on. I mean, that could drop any time too and be like, wow, this blows everything else out of the water. We don't know.
I wish Samsung would go independent though, instead of going with the WMR stuff.
I wish so too. I wish they would do their own thing.
They have the tech there. They have all the, I mean,
they're a screen company.
The mobile CPUs that are just killer.
Yeah, and the phone stuff. Yeah,
they have the best screens of the market. I mean, they would just kill it if they went on their own.
So that's what I think they should do. I think they should make their own controllers, make their own. I mean, go ahead and go inside out tracking still, but do more of a better volume of tracking. That's what they need to do.
One of the guys in the chat said Stormlands comes out when Rift S releases.
And I did hear that from MRTV.
I know.
Supposedly he got that from an Oculus employee.
Right.
But it's just hard to say who that Oculus employee was. I think he said it was like a manager of content or something. But you just never know. Like, is this somebody that really knows what they're talking about? Because I'm sure he wasn't supposed to say that. So that leads me to believe that maybe he didn't really know as much as he claimed. Because I'm sure if he was a higher up guy, he would have known that he's not supposed to say anything about that because nobody else did. I'm sure it wasn't supposed to come from his mouth before,
Absolutely not.
Somebody else. So
I
don't
know. He could be the manager of cleaning toilets there for all we know.
Right. They needed a fill-in. They needed a fill-in for. I mean, who knows? And I think that there's a good chance that does happen. I think there's a good chance that we get Stormlands with Rift.
They've been working on it a long time. Yeah. They know this release has been coming.
Yeah. They need something big that's going to sell headsets. I mean, that's that's going to help. So I think that it is a big possibility. I just don't know how credible the source was that gave us that information.
I think if they know that that's coming, they should have announced that already and announced it at F8.
Well, they should have announced the release for this stuff a long time ago, too. So they do weird stuff with announcements.
That's what scares me, though, because I would think if they knew that 100%, they would have said something.
Yeah. And maybe they were playing the Valve game and they wanted to have a little leak for something to talk about. So maybe that guy was legit, that said that and that. And maybe they just wanted to put something out there to give people stuff to talk about. I mean, that's the Valve game. The Valve game right now is let's accidentally drop this photo so we steal headlines. I mean, it's fun. I don't mind it at all, but I mean, it gives us something to talk about. You know what I mean? Like, so
I'm not. I was never like any type of HTC Vive fanboy or anything. It just I thought Oculus had a better product. I thought it was more refined at the time.
Just the controllers when we mainly. When it first came out, I think it was mainly the controllers that sold me. For sure, because the tracking system was better on HTC when they both first launched. They had the better tracking system, but the controllers of touch was what really because we went back and forth. We were like, oh man, which one should we get? And those touch controllers, were just
sold it. I'm glad we made that decision too. I really am because
I don't know because I would love to have those lighthouse what do they call them? Yeah, but there's the base stations. Yeah, I would love to have those already because that would have saved me some money buying the Index.
No, sure. Absolutely, I agree. But see, I think the Index for me is turning me a little bit towards Valve now, and away from Oculus just because of the direction they're heading,
Yeah.
I think Oculus still has a place.
Oh, yeah.
But I think for what gets me excited, I think that's where Valve's headed.
I don't know because I'm excited for the Quest too. So it's a hard subject because I'm super excited about the Quest at the same time. So like you said, everything has its place, and I think that's a true statement,
It does. I know. So. I'm excited for the Index. I really am.
So T-Dub has to drop out, so thanks for joining us. We probably should be wrapping up here pretty soon, actually. We often go longer than we planned. Yeah, and I am out of coffee. I have the tiniest little bit of a swig left. But I think we pretty much covered everything we wanted to cover. And, I mean, we could go longer because there's plenty to talk about, but... we'll have
all the individual games and stuff and the stuff that's coming and stuff that people are working on and adding to and developing. It's like there's so much good stuff even coming, stuff that we even know too. That's super cool.
So we're definitely looking forward to it, and I mean it's an exciting time for VR right now. I personally feel like VR is finally starting to gain some traction. I feel like we went through such a long period of time that was like it just seemed like we weren't gaining any momentum in the VR community. Like there wasn't a lot of new people jumping on board,
No, there wasn't.
And there was spurts, they would do the discount sales and stuff, and there was spurts of new users on the Reddits and But I really feel like it's starting to go a little bit more mainstream, especially once they drop the Quest music video. When they put that on TV, that's what's going to do it.
Everyone's buying one.
Yeah.
Done.
I'm serious. They need to do that.
But honestly, like if anybody, even here, hearing this and watching this does get a Quest, please let people try it.
Yeah.
Because it will just lead to what my fear is everyone relates VR to 360 video.
Right.
And because people used to list 360 videos as VR, which is totally different.
And playing on a phone and a piece of plastic, you know what I mean? That's
not
the same experience.
I feel like that has like handicapped the VR community because I have tons of, 360 cameras and stuff too. So I feel like everyone relates that to VR and they're not the same. So I feel like once people try it, they're like, oh my gosh, you can't even watch it on a flat screen. You can't watch it on
no
YouTube.
justice.
Be like, oh, I get it, because it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't translate to a flat
just
video.
Let people try it. It will build a community. It will lead to better and bigger things for all of us.
I mean, put them in. One of the best things is that, what's the robot little thing called? The Oculus. First contact. I mean, that's one of the greatest things to put somebody in. I've never put somebody in VR for the first time into that game, and they're like, "Oh, this sucks." And,
I know.
They're always like, I mean, they're blown away. You put your finger out, you got the little butterfly landing on your finger.
I hope they add stuff to that too.
I do too. Yeah, I don't know if it's the original version. I really do because that would be really good.
That would be cool. Or at least some Easter eggs in there or something.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I love Easter eggs. That's always fun.
You mean like on the controllers? Oh
yeah. I am gonna check my controllers.
I know, right? I think if anybody were to do that, though, Valve would do that. They build so much stuff into their, games and everything like that. Oh,
I'm down. The more, the better. I love that stuff. I think
absolutely.
It's cool.
Oh yeah. Yep, I agree.
Yeah. Right. So Pengi said First Contact blew her mind, and that's everybody's perception of it when they first go into it. Like everybody's, like you said, everybody thinks they're going to go into this flat 360 environment. That there's no presence because I mean, right now in the current tech, a 360 video doesn't really give you that sense of presence. It's cool because you can look around and you see stuff, but there's no presence there. You don't have hands. You don't have I mean, it's just not there. But when you go into something like First Contact, you have your hands. You can interact with things. You can pick things up. You can throw things. You can shoot things. You can have things land on your finger. Like you have this robot.
The first time is doing all this, and I tell them, well, reach over and grab that truck back there because they think you can only interact with like what
certain
it tells
things,
you.
Yeah.
And they pick it up and they look at it and they're like, whoa, then they chuck it or push it on the table or something.
And sometimes it's even hard to get people on track with all right, put the next cartridge in and grab thing because they're like, and they're just like touching all this stuff and they're grabbing the bouncy ball and they're throwing that, and the robot too. I mean, there's in flat games, you don't get that sense of like companionship almost. When you see that robot waving at you and you like wave back at it and it comes a little bit closer to you and it's starting to feel comfortable with you. There's something magical about that in VR that you really feel connected with that robot. Like that robot feels more like a real thing in VR than it ever does on a flat screen. On a flat screen, that robot would do nothing for me.
I don't think anybody has done that actually even yet with any experiences or games. Like, say you had like a pet or something you were taking care of or tending to something or a companion like that.
There are some. Paradise Decay does a bunch of videos, so I watch a lot of his stuff, and there are some. I can't remember the names of them now, but if you go back through some of his videos, there are some. There was one, it was like, he can probably name the name of it if he's in here, but it was like a little dragons and stuff, and they would come and you could play with them, you could play catch with them, so they are doing that, and I think that, for the right people, those will be really awesome experiences, and people will really, latch onto that kind of stuff if they can come up with something real good with some depth to it. And,
could you imagine like a Cortana from like Halo?
Well, I mean, they are
with you,
Yeah.
I know. I forget the one game that kind of had one like that.
And Oculus is working on the AI assistant stuff for VR, which that might be kind of crazy someday too.
Sure. Yeah. I want to try and talk Paradise Decay into coming on our show sometime.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I know. I said it. I said if he doesn't want to come on the show, we can put his logo over his head and maybe he
I talked about having his avatar because he always has that avatar as his logo and stuff. Yep. So if we could have his his moving avatar as he's talking to us, you know what I mean? I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah, if you want to come on in VR, we can do that too.
Yeah, we could figure something out probably, but yeah. Well, I think we should probably wrap up. We were planning on going about an hour to an hour and a half, and once we get talking, we just don't shut up. So.
Yeah, everyone said they're saying they had that song stuck in their head now.
Oh, I'm telling you, all week long.
If we leave you with anything from today, at least we gave you that. Right?
Exactly. Yes, and it is so good. Like, I mean, I seriously have been singing it in my head all week. Like, it is the catchiest thing. Like, I don't know what it is, but it just gets stuck in your head. It's just so good. Like, I don't know. It's awesome. She just does such a good job singing it. I think
I'm going to blast it during my unboxing of the Quest. I think
that would be. You shouldn't have said that. You shouldn't have said that because now everybody's gonna do that. You just give away an awesome idea. That's such a good idea.
Over here for you.
Oh man. Oh, so he said Paradise Decay said Beast Pets. That's what it was. I watched one of his videos, where he was doing that. And I mean, if you want to see gameplay video, go subscribe to his channel because I mean I don't know anybody that plays more games than Paradise Decay.
Exactly.
I mean, he plays everything. I mean,
he puts
everything.
In work too, man. He helps all kinds of guys out.
Oh yeah, he's always helping people out. I mean, he's helped us out. He does a lot of moderating for other, live streams and stuff like that. So, awesome guy. So.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep. So.
Yep.
Well, I guess that's probably it. We should be back here next week, Saturday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern time. I think our plan is the same time as today for next weekend, right?
And if you guys want to know, we debate whether pushing out notifications to you guys, an hour or during. Let us know if you guys want to hear from us early when we're going to drop a show, or during, or what works for you guys too in the comments. Let us know too. That would really help us.
Yeah, and if you're watching this video after the fact, I know a lot of people watch these streams after they're live, for commutes and stuff. So. Feel free to chime in on anything we talked about. Go ahead and drop a comment in there. Anything, if you want to speak your mind on any of the topics or give some opinions, we'd love to hear from you. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yep.
All right, guys.
I do have one request though. Before we end, could you play us out
with the Oculus?
Yeah. One last time.
Here we go. Anybody that missed this. It's so hard for me right now not to sing along. Maybe I should mute my mic so I can just blast out.
I'll go get you day one.
So good.
On May 21st. Oh, Oculus Quest, you'll be the best. We'll wear you on our heads and we'll be free. No limit to what we could be. Oculus Quest. Oh. I remember the day when I first heard the news that your name had changed. Goodbye, Santa Cruz. Soon we'll remember the good old days of fighting over release dates and Oculus names. One guy ate a sock and now he's read at fame. Oh, Oculus Quest, you'll be the best. We'll wear you on our heads and we'll be free. No limit to what we can be. Oculus Quest, no limit to what we can be.
So good.
Oculus Quest.
All right, guys, that pretty much wraps us up for today. That was a great outro. And please, Pengi, please remember us when you go mainstream. We're just little people, and we want to be remembered.
We're going to use it as our intro song, maybe.
Oh, man, so good. I love that song. All right, guys. Well, we will see you next week. We had a ton of fun. Thank you so much for everybody joining in chat.
Make sure you check out Combat Helicopter VR, too.
Yes, we will have the links. Page. Yep, we're going to add the links, so check those out.
We'll probably get to some timestamps, too, in case you guys want to check that stuff out, too, in our show.
For sure. We'll try to get those added. All right, guys. Thanks so much for joining.
Yep. We'll see you guys in VR.
See ya.
Later.